Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. Today we're doing yet another episode of whatever the hell this is. It's been too long, I know. And I always say that, oh, I'm coming back this time for real, but, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know if I believe that, really, because, my mental health has been on the decline, to be totally honest, but whatever. It is what it is. With that being said, hello, Fixie Pixie. Congratulations on being the first person in chat. Hello, Nisi Fam. Hello, A9420 Serial. Hello, Free Palestine. Hello, Jack Damon. Hell yeah, I got a notification this time. Well, that's good news. Hello, George Baker Jr. I don't doubt it's been a decline. You make fun of people, that's what happens. I hate to break it to you, but that's actually not how declining mental health works. It's actually not like, oh, you made fun of Charlie Kirk, therefore your mental health bad. No, my mental health has been on the decline anyway. I haven't been streaming, and my mental health is getting worse. You're just, wrong about that. That's not what that means. Actually, one of the, best eras of my life was summer of 2024, back when I was constantly making fun of Trumpster Bob. Okay? Olive Oil Run, Sabrina TW, all the classics. So, that's not the reason why. Also, congratulations for being a part of Supporter Gang for 1 month, Missouri Railroad Productions, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. Hello, trans girl in your area, interesting name. Hello, Anti-Smiley, hello, Hotel Girl. Hello... Nisi Fam, did you know that spamming in chat gets you timed out? I'm little, so I probably won't stay in the stream. Fair enough. Hello, Desire Arc. Hello, Jack. Bipolar. No, I'm not diagnosed with bipolar. You're just wrong about that. Try again. That's not how it works. Mr. Armchair Psychologist. I hate to break it to you. Very sad stuff. Hello, Emily. Hope you're doing okay. Or well, I suppose. Why just okay? I don't know. No, hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Otherwise, I would be very sad. Oh wait, I need to make that like that. All right. I get to see my caregiver tomorrow. Well, that's fun. Hello, Jordan. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Strikers. Hey Femi, YouTube didn't let me know when you came on live. Yeah, that's unsurprising. Classic YouTube L. Classic YouTube. Not telling people when I go live. Very sad stuff. Very, very unfortunate. Oh well, it be like that though. And, yeah, I guess YouTube just, hates you guys sometimes. YouTube does, hate the viewers, hate the YouTubers. It's just like that. It's one of those things. Hello, Mommy Ramiro. Where'd you get the choker from? Actually, I have no idea. Actually, no, I do know. I think I accidentally stole this from, my ex-girlfriend from, a really long time ago. I think I was, 17 or something. Or, 18. I don't know. It was a while ago. Hello, Tubian, saying fake news. Femi doesn't have bipolar. Sad stuff. Yeah. Love watching you mess with your hair. Well, that's good, because I do it frequently, so... You better. But, yeah, double tap the smash like, everyone. Very important. Boosts me in the algorithm. Yada, yada, yada. You get the point. It's been a while since you've been in stream. Yeah, that makes sense, because I haven't streamed in a while. I've been super inactive. Look, I want to, be super optimistic and be like, oh, I'm back to streaming. I'm going to be streaming every day. But the reality of the matter is that I'm fucking depressed as shit. My mental health is on the decline. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to move out soon. It's having a bunch of, college assignments that pile on doesn't help, just, constantly being busy with shit I don't care about. All of that stuff negatively affects me, of course. But it's life's just like that. It's just one of those things where it sort of just sucks. I think we can all agree that life sucks, right? It's just one of those things where it's just like that. It's just like that. Not take your time, girly. We'll wait for your streams. Prioritize yourself first. That's the thing, is I'm not doing anything to prioritize myself off stream. I'm just rotting because I'm fucking depressed. So, it's just like that. Femi for president. Hell yeah. I agree, Cinderqueer, and welcome back. Good to see you again. Take it easy, Femi. Hard times don't last. Yeah, I wish that was true, but like that's like one of those generic things that like sounds good on the surface until you realize how untrue it is. Because I've always been miserable and hated my life. So, if being miserable is something that goes away, then why hasn't it gone away within the last 21 years of my existence? Well, it's probably because it just doesn't go away. But that's besides the point. Anyways, yeah, exactly. We're all rot maxing. Oh no, I don't know what's wrong with you, and this probably won't help, but you're fucking awesome. A lot of us care about you. I hope you find some way to feel better. Me too. Me too. Hope you feel better soon, Femi. Here for you. Yeah, existing is one of those things I don't enjoy very much. But I guess, I mean, I have a, well, I was about to say I have no say in the matter. Well, but then saying that I have some say in the matter gets very, very dark very quickly. So we're just not, we're not gonna go there. We're gonna go somewhere else. Yeah. Well, here for you. Well, thank you. Could be something that could be diagnosed. Look, I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, if that's what you're wondering. No, there's nothing that actually like fucking actually makes it go away. Like there's things that like help a little bit, but they don't really do anything, especially not, on like the scale I would need. I consider myself straight, but I would definitely find Femi attractive. Fellas, is it gay to like women? I would wager the answer is no. Just start gambling, yeah. That could be a great way to pile on to all my existing mental health issues. Yes. Chat, don't kill yourself. I tried that shit and almost died. True. Very true. I know what you mean. Existing is like a burden or exhausting. I hate that for you. I want to give you a big hug. Fuck, man. Yeah, well, look, existing is one of those things where it's like, I didn't choose this. I feel like nobody really chose this. Like, it's like, if there was like a magical, like, it's like, I feel like, I'm kind of a pussy, because like, if there was like a magical button that I could push, where like, if I push it, like I never will have been born or experienced consciousness, I would push it in a heartbeat. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So it's one of those things where, you just gotta, keep existing for some reason, because your survival instincts won't let you do the opposite, I guess. But, anyways. See, some people in chat would push it too. I feel like the only thing keeping some of us going is survival instincts that prevent people like me from doing the rational thing. But, it's one of those things, That's the thing my guitarist always says. He doesn't want to die. He just wishes he wasn't born. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you get it. You get it. Do you regularly go to therapy? No, not anymore. I don't know. I don't really think it did anything. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm like fucked. So, I love to compare being born into this fucked up world with the expectation to succeed, with making Pinocchio and shoving him into a wood chipper just to get mad at the sawdust. Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. I don't know. I feel like it's my fault though. Like other people manage to exist and be happy. Why can't I do that? Why am I not physically capable of experiencing more positive emotions than negative emotions? Or am I just like fucked up? Or like something wrong with me? I don't know. I feel like there is. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you just, yeah. Hi, I'm a trans woman sending love. Well, it's good to have you here, and I appreciate that. Um, I don't mean to be mean, but are you going outside? No, that doesn't help. Like, do you think I was, like, happier when I, like, went outside? No. Never made me happier. I never got anything out of it. I was always depressed regardless. It doesn't fucking matter if you go outside and do things. Makes zero difference. I would do them and just feel empty inside. Or like shit. So it doesn't matter what you do. I don't think people realize that, like, just because, like, something makes them happy, this doesn't automatically mean that it's gonna make everyone else happy. Like, wow, I'm so glad to hear that you doing stuff makes you happy. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you know, working, you know, brings you fulfillment. It'd be nice if the rest of us experienced that. But unfortunately, that's actually not how it works for everyone. You can be happy? Well, that's just not true. Have you tried Molly and Hyperpop? Good point. Good point. Anyways. Let's see. Wouldn't have guessed trans? Fair enough. Fair enough. I think it's, I think me being mentally ill gives it away. I think that's, like, the clockiest feature that I have is that I'm mentally ill. Like, severely. Yeah. That's, like, my very clocky feature that I have. OMG, I love your hair. The cut frames your face perfectly. Hell yeah. Thank you. Anyways. But hey, I'll say one thing. Alright, one positive thing about myself, okay? At least I outlived Charlie Kirk. At least I outlived Charlie Kirk. Dude, you just have to keep trying different shit. Yeah, I did that, and I got nothing out of it. You're actively living in a victim mentality. No, it's that I've tried shit, and all of it is miserable, and I hate all of it, because it sucks, and none of it brings me any amount of happiness at all. Like, it's like, dude, like, oh, thank you, Mr. Armchair Psychology. Have you tried doing different stuff and not being depressed? Oh, wow, thank you. Oh, wow, that's so very helpful. You're in control of what happens from now on. Ah, yes, true. I'm actually in control of all the chemical reactions that happen within my brain. That's so true. If I just changed the chemical reactions within my brain, I'd be so much happier. Thanks, genius. 3 cheers for outliving Kirk? Hell yeah. Hello, Jade. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I'm not gonna hate, unlike these people, I may not agree with their ideas, but God loves you all. You should all find him and trust him. You should find evidence of God. You know, that's my view. You know, rather than proselytizing in my chat over some shit that, like, you know, I don't believe in that shit. Most of my audience doesn't. You know, if you do, you know, good for you. I'm glad that brings you happiness. But, look, I'm gonna be real. You gotta find some evidence of that shit before you, you know, present it to me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make fun of you. You know what I mean? Yes, God sucked my dick indeed. You support Israel? Fuck no. Why would I support genocide? Girl, these bros don't understand basic brain chemistry. No, literally. It's like the most pathetic shit. Yes, having a hard time breathing? Just do it. Just do it, George Floyd. Just do it. Just breathe. Just breathe, Mr. Floyd. Have you tried breathing? Like, okay, alright. Thanks for the advice. Anyways. Yes, just breathe, Mr. Kirk. Just breathe. Just breathe, Mr. Kirk. To be fair, there's some pretty good arguments for God, even if I don't subscribe to them. By arguments for God, you mean the existence of a God, so like a deist worldview. Like, yeah, there's some pretty good arguments in favor and against deism. But that's not what I refer to when I talk about God. Like, I'm obviously referring to their specific God. You know, when people talk about believing in God, they're not talking about deism. That's obviously not what they mean, right? If somebody is just a deist, right, the belief in God isn't going to be that important. The same way that like a belief in utilitarianism versus deontology is not going to be that important on like a random live stream. You know, for instance, if like unless it's like a debate streamer or like somebody that talks about philosophy specifically or is talking about philosophy, you know, I'm not going to go and be like, you should become a hedonic utilitarian, right? Because that'd be fucking weird. It's like, yes, I would argue that hedonic utilitarianism is correct. That doesn't mean I just like randomly go like proselytizing about it. Find hedonic utilitarianism. That'd be a little bit strange, you know? So obviously they don't mean, you know, believe in deism. Like they obviously mean, you know, the Christian God or, you know, Allah, whatever the fuck they subscribe to. That's obviously what they're referring to. Anyways. What is a woman? Somebody that identifies within the feminine social archetype. Yes, how dare you mock Hitler? He had a wife, you know, and a cousin. I think they might have been the same person. Hello, Battlecrafter. Hope you're doing well. Do the have a born gender? That's a great question. Do the have a born gender? Wow. Great stuff. Yes, remember guys, Hitler was actually woke. Anyways. Hitler was a socialist. If Hitler was a socialist, then Karl Marx was a fucking capitalist. Jesus Christ. How long have you been in voice training? You sound amazing. I guess I've been like, I focused on it for like a few months and like really honed in on it. And then I just like kind of retained it. And like, so what I did is I like understood how voice training works. And then I just like slowly feminized my voice over the course of like a few months or so. And then I just retained it. And I've been doing that for like, I want to say like over a year. I've had a voice that sounds roughly like this. So yeah. Never forget Hitler was a trans man. True. Wasn't he like Felix Cypher on YouTube reincarnated? Hell yeah. Your voice has changed so much over the last months. Wait, has it really? I actually haven't noticed any. Maybe I like inadvertently. I've like just gotten better at voice training just by yapping. I don't know. Because like occasionally I'll do something to like sound more feminine. Hitler was woke. SS stands for super trans. True. Who's Felix Cypher? He was a TikToker who claimed to be Hitler reincarnated. I'm not even joking. I don't know, you've always sounded really femme to me. To be fair, you probably haven't seen what I used to sound like. Or I guess heard, not seen. Femi, drop them bars. Wait, are you talking about the Charlie Kirk diss track? Chat, who wants to hear my Charlie Kirk diss track? Woo! We love the Charlie Kirk diss track. Me? You do? Oh boy. Chat, I think it's time for us to all listen to none other than the Charlie Kirk diss track from 5 days ago, which is when I made it. Oops, hold on. Let me make it like, nope, over here. Like that. Volume like that. All right. Let's go. It's called Kirk Down, official audio. I uploaded it to a shitter account. Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out, ready. Charlie Kirk went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred spread shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, Man down on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert in red, your rhetoric fast you to your deathbed. Defiance doesn't exist for unleashed by Netanyahu, cause he got fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, hated trannies and fags like a skinhead. Targeting jobs is some pussy shit, you were against that before. There's no need to backtrack, the left's not your enemy, just people like me. Man, yo shit is so out of whack. The ops will overreact and attack while I smoke on this Charlie Kirk pack. If you're conservative, you should be euthanized. Come to my house and I'll chop off your ball sack. This bitch is so whack, retarded and wants to carry his legacy of shilling for APAC. Her face is fatter than jobs, they'll throw stones at me when your house is made out of glass. I hate to be crass, but Charlie Kirk's neck is someone more fucked up than data boss Nass. His neck took a bullet so hard it was just like the Zionist that was far up his ass. Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out red. Charlie Kirk went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred's bed shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, man down on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert in red, your rhetoric fast you to your deathbed. Defiance doesn't exist for unleashed by Netanyahu, cause he got fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, he hated trannies and fags like a skinhead. Hell yeah, dude. Bro, I would have done it live, but like the issue is that the mic is delayed. So it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. It would have been out of sync. Dude, my favorite line is it either has to be the ops will overreact and attack while I smoke on this Charlie Kirk pack. If you're conservative, you should be euthanized. Come to my house and I'll chop off your ball sack. Either that or I hate to be crass, but Charlie Kirk's neck is someone more fucked up than that of Boss Nass. His neck took a bullet so hard it was just like the Zionist stick that was far up his ass. Like, dude. Bro. That shit was so funny. I'm sorry. If you don't think that was funny, you just don't have a human. Like, you're not a human. You don't have humor. This is not bars. Yeah, it is. What's the song called? It's called Kirk Down. Kirk Down, motherfucker. Anyways. That's a banger song. Yes, I'm Queen Von. I'm Queen Von, motherfucker. I'm Queen Von, bitch. Can we hear it again? If you want to hear it again, here, I'll just put a link to it in my chat. If you want to like save it. But yeah. Charlie allegedly would have loved it. True. Charlie Kirk said that empathy is bad. Okay, so we shouldn't have empathy for him because anytime that you have empathy for Charlie Kirk, you're actually disrespecting the legacy of free speech warrior and American patriot Charlie Kirk, who died during the tragedy of 9/10. All right, we can't be disrespecting the legacy of American hero Charlie Kirk, who was killed during the national tragedy of 9/10. So in order to avoid disrespecting him, we must not have empathy. Because that's what he said. He said that he doesn't support empathy. He thinks that the empathy is a modern new age term. Women can't have empathy? True. So true. Look up the full clip. I did, and it doesn't make him look better. People say, oh, but he was just taken out of context. No, if you actually like watch him for like a long period of time, you'll notice like, no, he's actually worse than the clips make him out to be. Because he's consistently a bad person. Anyways. Did you see Destiny is demonetized? Wait, what was he demonetized for? Granted, I might make jokes. Look, I don't support any violence. I don't support any political violence or assassinations. I just don't like Charlie Kirk. Just saying. Charlie Kirk said that if his daughter got raped, he would make her have the baby. Exactly. Exactly. He was a terrible person. Charlie Kirk was not a hero. He was a piece of shit. Exactly my point. He was an awful person. Him being dead doesn't retroactively change that fact. You obviously support political violence. Why? Because I don't retroactively pretend like Charlie Kirk wasn't a terrible person while he was alive. I can say that political violence is bad, while also saying that, yeah, Charlie Kirk was a bad person. Those are not mutually exclusive. Where is the logical contradiction in that? And what are you talking about? Anyways. No, because you're dancing on his grave. Yeah, he was like a bad person. Like, what about you guys making George Floyd jokes? Look, I made George Floyd jokes. I thought that the George Droid memes were funny. But, now suddenly that it's a rich white guy that you support. Now suddenly it's bad. All right? As a wise man once said, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. But you don't get to make George Floyd jokes and then moral fag and virtue signal because I dared make a joke about the dead person that they like. It's fucking bullshit. It is the most slimy, hypocritical, retarded shit imaginable. I'm guessing it was because Elon boosted a call for his deplatforming. Yeah, so much for the right caring about free speech. Whereas I am someone who has consistently been in favor of free speech. When it was right-wingers that were being censored, I said, look, I hate right-wingers as much as the next motherfucker. I despise them. I hate everything that they stand for, but I don't think they should be censored. Interestingly enough, now that it's left-wingers that are being censored, right? Or people that are even just liberal, not even leftists, just liberals, people like Destiny, that are closer to the center than I am. Now suddenly right-wingers that claimed to be in favor of free speech, now suddenly, but no, this speech that I don't like is hate speech. That needs to be cracked down against. The government needs to step in and say that you're not allowed to say that. The big tech companies need to censor these people. Why? Because these people hold no consistent standards. And if you're a conservative and you're watching this, and you're somebody that's fed up with the people that are in favor of censorship because it's people that they don't like, then I highly urge you to reconsider why you believe the things you do, why you're on the side that you are. Because the side that you're on is the one that is in favor of censorship. Whereas people like me have consistently, for years now, been anti-censorship. Just putting it out there. Not once have I ever advocated for anybody to get deplatformed. Just putting it out there. Just saying. Yes, let Charlie Kirk rest in hell. That's true. Charlie Kirk hated pretty much everyone that wasn't exactly like him. True. It's not censorship? No. Oh, so now it's not censorship. So when it's you guys getting censored, it's censorship, but when it's us getting censored, it's not? Again, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. You don't get to have an inconsistent standard here. You don't get to say, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk jokes, that's too far. George Floyd jokes, that's totally fine. But Charlie Kirk, that's where we draw the line. All right? All right, we fought. We fought in the meme war. All right? For many years, okay? For the free speech of the Kekastanis, okay? And now we're going to sit here and throw all of that away because now you're offended by the jokes that are being made? Fucking give me a break, dude. He literally just died, dumbass. Oh, you think that people weren't making jokes about George Floyd right after he died? Are you fucking dumb? Are you brain dead? Do we live on the same fucking planet? And guess what? The people that made the jokes right after he died, I might even argue, oh, those were in poor taste. Or I might argue that they're not particularly funny. That might be a position I have. It might not. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to politics when that happened as much, right? So I was a little bit more neutral back then, right? I think that he was murdered without due process, and I think that aspect is fucked up. But I wouldn't ever advocate for somebody to be deplatformed for making jokes about George Floyd, even if the jokes were right after he died. Why? Because I am extremely consistent. Not once have I ever changed my beliefs on free speech. Ever. Because I am the most consistent motherfucker imaginable. And I hold true to all of my principles, regardless of whether or not it's people I like or dislike. It is conservatives who are now the Karens and the snowflakes saying that we want to get you to have your jobs lost. We're going to contact your employers for making a joke I didn't like. Because they're fucking pussies. They are pussies, they are hypocrites, and they don't even realize it. And I'm not saying all conservatives. I think that there are some conservatives watching this right now that see the writing on the wall, that see that people on their side are fucking crazy, that they've lost the fucking plot. And now they're going to start distancing themselves from other conservatives. And that's a good thing, by the way. If you're able to think for yourself and you're somebody that cares about free speech despite being conservative, and you're able to read the writing on the wall, that's a good thing. Just putting it out there. Meanwhile, liberals shot him out. Yeah, there are many instances of conservatives murdering liberals. What is your argument? Total opposite of what's happening? No, that's not true. It's not the opposite of what's happening. What I've explained is exactly what's happening right now. And what I want to see happen, okay? As much as I've shit on, people for being conservative or whatever, again, I am never someone that's advocated people being deplatformed. Also, thank you, Syndiqueer, for the $2. You beautiful fucking bastard, saying, Kirk, sexuals frauding with their tears for lube right now. Very true. I agree. Because these people always need to be the victim. Literally, nobody on the right is saying that. My friend, oh, my good friend, Catherine. Oh, I have some bad news for you. Have you seen what people have said in my chat, even? Saying that I should be censored and deplatformed. Saying that people should lose their jobs. Have you seen what people have said on Twitter? And it's not just random Twitter glup shittos, okay? YouTubers, right-wing YouTubers, like Hiiiiii and Tectone have been in favor of this censorship. Do I need to pull up the clips of Hiiiiii? I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to cover the Hiiiiii video because it was one of the most pathetic fucking things I've ever seen. Okay? When did Charlie Kirk die? It was... Charlie Kirk wanted me to die? Yeah, exactly. It's like, so him wanting us to die is fine, but like, us not caring and making jokes when he dies is like too far. Like, hello, make it make sense, please. Anyways. Okay, so that would be 2 weeks ago. Alright, I think it's this video. Alright? So I'm gonna show you. And you'll see that people in chat are gonna disagree with me on this. People in chat are gonna be like, no, it's actually based to be a fucking Karen and censor people. You'll notice that. So we're gonna drink some water. All right. And we're gonna show a cute little video I found, okay? I'm gonna show you all a very cute little video, all right? I'm pretty sure this is the one where Hiiiiii advocates for people losing their jobs. It's called Things Are Getting Crazy. They sure are, Hiiiiii. Things are, in fact, getting very crazy. So what does Hiiiiii have to say on the matter? Well, let's find out. I'm so excited. Also, thank you, Brigadier Harsh, for the $2, you beautiful fucking bastard, saying based takes. Indeed, very based takes. Indeed, I couldn't possibly agree more. All right. So, anyways, with that being said, not Cheeto. Yes. All right. It's been a while since I've made fun of Hiiiiii. All right. It's been a long time. So, it's about time to catch up on Hiiiiii bashing, I guess. And, yeah, we'll get right into it.
I spent about 3 hours trying to write a script for this video, but I stopped about halfway through because I realized that defeats the entire point. When you script something, it
yeah, true. Don't script. Don't make the video actually high quality. Don't put time and effort into the video. Just, yap off the cuff. Oh wait, that's what you do anyways. It's not like you were gonna, write a script anyway. Also, thank you so much for the $20, Battau Crafter. Ya beautiful fucking bastard, saying Hiiiiii playing with fire again. Very true, Battau Crafter. Very true, very accurate. Aichido played with fire before, and here he is, playing with fire again. What is the result going to be? Well, let's just say it's not going to be very good for our good friend the Aichido, to say the very least.
And the entire point of a video like this is that I'm delivering my raw reaction, my unfiltered opinion, and
damn, that's crazy. Have you ever considered getting to the point instead of yapping?
And my just authentic emotion.
Oh, wow.
So, as you guys know,
excited.
and as you've seen by now, about 2 days ago, Charlie Kirk, who is a prominent right-wing political activist, was shot in the throat.
No! Not American hero Charlie Kirk! Dying during the national tragedy of 9/10. No! What will we do without him? Oh no. The horror.
While discussing politics with a student on a Utah college campus. Now, I think the irony and the morbidity in this is his mantra was that we must discuss politics, we must have uncomfortable conversations, because when people stop talking, violence happens. While he's...
If people stop talking, violence happens. So surely Aichido isn't going to spend the next, 20 minutes of the video. Surely he's not going to spend the next 20 minutes of the video arguing why it's actually good if people making jokes about Charlie Kirk get deplatformed and lose their jobs. Surely that wouldn't be the route that he takes.
Talking while he's having this discussion, he was killed. Violence happened. And
Well, actually, he was talking about gun violence, but go off, King. Go off.
I think for that reason, this makes everything all the more serious. When you look at somebody who was having these conversations being killed, it just shows you that we're at a point where talking doesn't seem to have mattered, right? Trying to talk things out, trying to discuss political issues seems to have failed in a pretty strong way.
It's failed because the guy I like got murdered. Let's ignore all of the instances of left-wingers being murdered by right-wing activists. Let's ignore all of the many examples in which right-wingers have targeted leftist politicians. Just ignore all of the cases in which liberals and Democrats, etc., have been either targeted and or killed by right-wingers. Just ignore that, I guess. But when it's Charlie Kirk, when it happens on the other side, now suddenly it's super important.
Are angry, they're violent, they don't want to talk, they would rather kill. And the response to this killing makes what I'm saying all the more true. If it was...
Yeah, except the unfortunate reality of the matter, Mr. Aichido, is Charlie Kirk is somebody who has outright said that the person who attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer, almost killing the dude, should be pardoned. And that a true American patriot for a president would pardon the attacker. He said this when Biden was in office, of course. So let's not pretend that this is like a new thing. This is not new.
If it wasn't true, why would you have people celebrating the death? They want the death. They don't want the conversations. We're past people trying to own him.
How dare you not give a fuck that Charlie Kirk, somebody that advocated against your right as a trans person to exist, how dare you not care that they exist? Or sorry, how dare you not care that they died? How dare you make jokes about it after the fact? Wow, very messed up stuff. Very messed up stuff.
In a debate, we're at the point where people are cheering on bloodshed and slaughter, okay? That's where we are right now. In case you're...
Oh, yeah, that's all a new thing. Let's ignore the attempted insurrection that happened on January 6th when Trump lost the election. That wasn't violence. We don't count that, all right? That doesn't count. Violence is a new thing that started during the national tragedy of 9/10.
Wondering where on the, where on the political sort of spectrum we are in terms of violence and civil unrest. Out of 10, we're at about like an 8 or a 9 right now. So
I cannot imagine Aichido living in some third world shitter country. Imagine if he had to live somewhere like in Syria. If this is how he scales the amount of political violence, oh boy. Oh boy. Dude, just imagine this guy being shipped to Syria. Oh my god. Oh, it would not be a good time for him.
Oh, yeah, just a quick tick in the temperature. We're running at a pretty fucking high fever. So, anyway, in case you haven't seen the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck with blood gushing out of his throat, you have to watch it in order to participate in this conversation.
Don't worry, I watched it. I saw it. I saw it from every single angle, actually. So I guess I'm allowed to participate in the conversation. Now, I don't know why you have to see that to participate in the conversation. I think that that's pretty dumb. I don't know what that has to do with the substance of the argument. But let's hear his explanation for why that is a necessary prerequisite for you to participate in the conversation.
Because if you're not and you're trying to give me some sort of opinion, just no, that's not how the...
Just no, all right? You're not allowed to talk about it if you haven't seen the video. Because just no, all right? You're just not allowed to. Or something, okay? All right? It's just not okay, all right?
This works. In order to talk about an assassination where the video is readily available for viewing online and you are choosing not to view it, yet you want to lecture me about something that you have no sort of emotional, visceral reaction to because...
You don't have enough of an emotional or visceral reaction to it. You must react emotionally in order to have an opinion. You're not allowed to think logically, all right? My feelings don't care about your facts.
You're going off of headlines. No, thank you. Actually, go fuck yourself. We're not doing that. So, listen.
Yeah, go fuck yourself for making arguments on the basis of logic and reasoning. How dare you do such a thing? You must have an emotional reaction the way that I do.
Let's talk let's talk about the sort of what happens next, okay? Everybody knows what this means. Everybody knows where this is going to take us. And let's talk about how to respond to this, how to respond to the response, and where we are headed. So, how to respond to this is obviously to just feel a deep level of sorrow and to use this sorrow to...
Yes, you must feel a deep level of sorrow for Charlie Kirk. All right, you better feel really bad right now. All right? If you're not on the floor, if you're not literally on the floor, groveling at the sight of Charlie Kirk's death, then you don't feel bad enough. All right? That is the first thing for you to do. All right? Very important.
To console with others and to bring people together and tell them that
yes, we need to come together and get in a massive circle jerk and sing Kumbaya together.
Although things might be hard right now, they will get better, and that we do have a future. Although this senseless act of violence will take a huge mental and emotional toll on lots of people,
a huge mental and emotional toll, dude. It's one guy. It's one guy that you didn't know.
This is not the end. This is an unfortunate chapter in many of our lives, but it's not over. Now,
So, thousands of Palestinian children being bombed, that doesn't take an emotional toll. But Charlie Kirk, too far, man, all right? Dude, we have to really use our coping skills here.
Let's discuss the response to the response. Now, as you guys have probably seen by now, lots and lots of people are celebrating this. They're celebrating the death. They're memeing it, and...
No! You're not allowed to make hilarious jokes about a dead person! That's like illegal or something!
This is unsurprising to me in a lot of ways, because my first thought when there was an assassination attempt against Trump was that, had this succeeded, the celebration would have been insurmountable. There would have been...
Yeah? And? What's your point?
A ridiculous amount of people celebrating and feeling a level of happiness that wouldn't even be, comprehensible to most people.
Well, considering the fact that a lot of trans people are losing access to gender-affirming care now that Trump is in office, and now that people's rights are being stripped away, now that censorship is rampant because of Trump, now that Palestinian protesters are getting deported and arrested without due process. Yeah, I think, especially in retrospect, it is perfectly reasonable that people would feel relieved to know that that wouldn't be the result. If in 2024, I found out, oh shit, now that this guy is out of the equation, all of the horrible shit that he plans on doing isn't going to happen anymore. Yeah, it would be reasonable for me to feel a sense of relief. It's like, oh wow, now I'm not going to be targeted for being a trans person by the Trump administration. That's awesome, actually. Yes, it is reasonable to be relieved by that. Why wouldn't I be?
These are people who would feel satisfaction and they would be satiated for the rest of their lives having watched this,
Well, probably not for the rest of my life. I would just be relieved that my rights aren't going to be stripped away next year. Like, hello?
President gets shot in the head. They would have taken his face and put it on t-shirts. The face that he, I should be more specific, his face getting impacted by the bullet.
No! Not hilarious t-shirts! How dare you make a joke?
The very moment where his life leaves him, his soul exits his body, would be the moment they capture on photo and put on shirts, mugs, make reaction gifts that they will...
Wait, that sounds awesome.
...spam in your fucking DMs. And that's what they're doing now with Charlie Kirk. There are, I think I've seen about 7 instances of people selling merchandise and memorabilia with this horrible image of Charlie Kirk's neck, leaking blood.
Yo, where can I buy it? That sounds awesome.
People are making stickers of it.
Yo, wait. Can you like give me a link, Mr. Cheeto? I wanna buy this. I gotta show these people some support.
They're using AI to generate stickers and make shirts.
Yeah, the real crime there is that they're using AI to create art.
And sell action figures, 3D printed action figures. It is needless to say,
not
very
the action figures.
And you know, with that, the celebration that accompanies this is also fucked up. You know, the people that are saying,
wow, very messed up,
that
guys.
He deserved it. That
you know, considering the fact that he painted all trans people as evil pedophiles that are gonna groom your kids, yeah, it's like kind of difficult to feel bad for him. Like, yeah, he had a wife and kids like everyone else, dumbass. Like, yeah, oh, but he had a family. What about his family? You mean the thing that almost everybody else has? Do you think that it would suddenly be morally different if he didn't have a family? Like, let's say we find out actually he didn't have a family. He didn't have kids. Oh, now suddenly you'd be okay with me making fun of Charlie Kirk, right? No, they obviously don't believe that.
I spent about 3 hours.
Oh, shit, no, fuck. I pressed the wrong button. Shit, fuck.
Where this is going to take us, and let's talk about how to, in a lot of ways, because my first thought when there was an assassination attempt against Trump was that fucking DMs, and that's what they're doing now with Charlie Kirk. There are, I think I've seen about 7 instances of people selling merchandise and memorabilia with...
Okay, we're behind.
It is, needless to say, very fucked up and...
Very fucked up stuff, guys.
You know, with that, the celebration that accompanies this is also fucked up. You know, the people that are saying that he deserved it, that it doesn't matter that he had a family, it makes no difference, his views cost him.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but like, if he didn't have a family, would you suddenly be like, okay, it's actually cool now to make memes about Charlie Kirk dying? No, you obviously wouldn't be saying that. That's obviously not your position. It doesn't suddenly change the morality based on whether or not they have a family. That's fucking stupid.
His life, etc., looking for some sort of gotcha moment that because he's pro-gun, his death was somehow imminent. You know, oh, he's pro-gun, he died by a gun.
Look, I think it's a funny meme, but I don't think it's an actual argument. And yeah, there have been a few people that have tried arguing like, well, he supported the Second Amendment, therefore blah, blah, blah. Right? There's no amount of gun control that would have been able to stop that assassination in particular. So I actually agree with him on this specific point. But everything else he's about to say is probably fucking retarded, let's just say.
Reddit is down the hall and to the right, you fucking loser. And
yeah,
listen,
Reddit is down to the hall and to the right.
A lot of people are using this to make whataboutisms as well. They're trying to say that because Charlie Kirk's death has made such big headlines that the people who care about his death are hypocrites because they didn't care about the school shooting victims or something, which is...
yeah, considering the fact that you're more bent out of shape over a Machiavellian, evil, disgusting, slimy politician that helped a pedophile rapist get into office, the fact that you're more sad about him dying than the kids, the innocent children who died in a school shooting, that really says a lot about your character. You care more about a slimy, greedy, Machiavellian, piece of shit, grifting liar who supported the genocide in Gaza and supported a pedophile rapist getting into office. You think that his life is worth more moral consideration than the children that died at school, and you care more. You're more upset about that.
The most fucking stupid thing I've ever heard because, you know, the praise for one is not criticism for another. Me supporting the life of Charlie Kirk and you know, supporting his...
No one is saying that you're praising the school shooting. What are you talking
legacy
about?
Saying that I don't think he should have died is not saying I think these kids should have died. That's the most...
Nobody is making this argument. You're arguing against the voices inside of your head.
Most obvious thing ever. And also...
Yeah, it's really easy to point out the most obvious thing ever when your debate opponent is a literal fucking straw man.
It's pretty obvious to say that when somebody dies, you celebrate the people. Like, again, this is like saying you went to your father's funeral, but you didn't go to some random stranger's funeral. Like, I don't know these children. Obviously, I feel bad that anybody would die in a school.
You also didn't know Charlie Kirk, you fucking moron. You're acting like this is somebody you were personally friends with. I guarantee you haven't met him a single time. Why is that any different?
Shooting, that's tragic. I just don't know these people. How am I supposed to say their names when I don't know their names?
Oh, but you don't know Charlie Kirk. Or sorry, oh, but you do know Charlie Kirk, right. Yeah, you were like personally friends with him.
How would I know their names? It's all bad. Are you trying to call me a hip?
But when it's a famous person, it's bad. It's clearly way more important when it happens to a famous person.
Because I specifically highlighted the name of one of the largest, most famous, well-known people in right-wing politics' death, and not the many children that are viciously slaughtered in schools. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's almost like you have like a political agenda or something. Who would have guessed?
Anyway, the point that I am trying to get at with all of this is that these people are violent people. They are
super
apathetic.
violent.
They have no care in the world for people's livelihood or their life.
You're right. I don't have a care in the world for Charlie Kirk specifically. Do I think he should have died? No. Not once have I ever advocated in favor of assassinating Charlie Kirk. You can go back through all of my past live streams and videos, and not once will you see a single instance of me advocating for the death of my political opponents. But what you will see is I also don't fucking care. Like I'm sorry, I just can't be asked to care that somebody that was against me having the right to exist, somebody who explicitly stated he wanted to ban all gender affirming care across the country, even for adults, meaning that I would be forced to detransition. Yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to care when he was somebody that advocated for ruining the livelihood of me and millions of people like me.
Lives in general, as if they can find a political disagreement, and
that's not a political disagreement. That's he was in favor of destroying my livelihood.
I feel like this has been known for a while, but it was highlighted in a pretty major way recently. And the only way forward, in my opinion, is with accountability and punishment.
Accountability and punishment. But Cheeto, in the beginning, you said that when people stop being able to speak, that's when, what was the Charlie Kirk quote? Well, it was something about how it's really important that people are able to share their opinions, even if they're really uncomfortable.
You're not going to convince somebody who is laughing at the death of Charlie Kirk that they shouldn't do that. You are...
Yeah, you're right. Why would I give a fuck? That doesn't mean that I'm in favor of political violence. That just means that I think that the Charlie Kirk memes that I see on Twitter are fucking funny. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with laughing at a funny-ass meme. There's nothing wrong with having a dark, edgy sense of humor. Mind you, these are the same motherfuckers that get mad that the angry snowflake SJWs can't take a joke. Which, mind you, I agreed with for the longest time. You know why? Because I'm consistent. I too made fun of the angry SJW snowflakes that couldn't take a joke. But you want to know what I learned over time? Is there's a lot more conservatives that are like that than left-wingers or liberals that are like that. That's what I've noticed. Now, granted, I'm willing to make fun of anybody that's like that. But, yeah, you just so happen to be next on the chopping block, Cheeto, in terms of that, sort of, you're a fucking SJW and I'm going to make fun of you, essentially.
Far past that. You will not change their mind. Okay? They killed the guy.
They killed the guy. If you're laughing at funny-ass memes about Charlie Kirk that you see on Twitter, then you killed him. You're the murderer. You're responsible now because you laughed at a hilarious joke. All right? Listen up, Twitter shitposters who have made hilarious George Floyd memes. If you've ever participated or engaged in any online activity that involves you making fun of George Floyd, if you've ever participated in any activity that involves you making fun of George Floyd and making I Can't Breathe memes, you have automatically made yourself personally responsible for his death. That is right, everybody. That's the standard we have now.
Try to change people's minds. They sniped him, so it's not gonna...
Who is they? It was one guy. It wasn't multiple people. It was one dude.
Happen.
So we can laugh at George Floyd. Then yes, you're allowed to make George Floyd memes. You shouldn't be censored for it. You're allowed to find them funny. You're allowed to not find them funny. Either of those are perfectly acceptable. I personally find some of them funny. I find others not funny. I feel like that goes for any edgy joke, right? Any edgy joke that has a bunch of variety. I'm going to find some of it funny. I'm going to find some of it not so funny, right? And that's perfectly acceptable. At no point have I ever advocated for people to be deplatformed or censored or to lose their jobs for making George Floyd jokes.
There is one way forward, and that, like I said, is through accountability and punishment.
Accountability and punishment. Why? Because people made edgy jokes on Twitter?
In no way, shape, or form means violence. That simply means when somebody is celebrating violence, they are promoting it. When you look at violent acts occurring and you cheer it on, you are hoping for more of it to happen. And you know this is true because the amount of people...
That's so true. When you make George Floyd memes, you actually want innocent black people to be murdered. That's so true. That's exactly what that means.
People that have said Trump next, X person next, whatever. You know, Kirk,
dude, he's so fucking sensitive. This is pathetic.
Trump, Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, whoever it might be on the right, they would have the exact same reaction. They would be equally, if not more, happy. So there is no reasoning with these people. You cannot,
Yeah, so much for the fucking free speech right. Jesus Christ. I thought you guys said that there was no such thing as hate speech.
Get them to unfeel the joy they feel right now. You cannot logic your way into getting them to care. They are happy.
Yeah, you're right. You can't force me to care about something I don't give a fuck about. Why would I care? You can't make me care. Why should I be punished for not giving a fuck and just making edgy jokes? Mind you, a lot of the people that make edgy jokes aren't even political. They just find edgy jokes funny because it makes people mad. A lot of the people making these jokes are like 14-year-old edgelords. Okay, and guess what? When I was 14, I would have been one of them. I'm just saying. Do you think that a 14-year-old should, be fucking targeted and doxxed for making a fucking edgy-ass joke and for rage baiting? No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
That Charlie Kirk was shot in the throat and gushing blood from his throat in front of his children. That's it. They have to be punished. If you see this, if you know somebody celebrating this on social media, get them fired from their fucking job. Get them
fired from their job, he says. Hey, Cheeto, I thought you were in favor of free speech. What happened? We gotta replay that. We're gonna replay that real quick, okay?
Celebrating this on social media. If you see this, if you know somebody celebrating this on social media, get them fired from their fucking job. Get them
fired from their job, he says. Actual Karen behavior. It's funny how the right was bitching and moaning. Oh no, the left is attacking me and targeting my job. And guess what? I was one of the people that was consistently saying, yeah, I don't think people should lose their job over transphobic comments they made on Twitter. I've always been against that. But at the same time, it makes it very fucking hard for me to defend any of you people when you have no consistent standards. You won't offer me the same level of respect. So in the future, if I see a Cheeto getting censored, if he gets deplatformed for some dumb shit that he says about trans people or whatever it may be, I'm not going to give a fuck. I'm not going to defend him. I'm not going to cover it at all. Why? Well, because I have no reason to care. He wouldn't offer me the same level of respect. Why would I give a shit? Why would I ever defend his right to speak when he is not in favor of mine? It is the most basic level of mutual understanding that we are all the mutual beneficiaries of free speech. But Ichido is fucking brain dead and he doesn't understand this because he's sides cucked. So we're gonna replay that one more time. All right? Just to make it very clear.
Have to be punished. If you see this, if you know somebody celebrating this on social media, get them fired from their fucking job. Get them kicked out of school.
He is in favor of getting people fired from their jobs and kicked out of school for edgy jokes that they make on Twitter. What a fucking pussy. What a disgusting, slimy, two-faced, hypocritical, retarded sack of shit. Genuinely disgusting behavior. Genuinely fucking vile. It is the most pathetic shit imaginable.
That is promotion of violence. Maybe you can argue it's incitement of violence. At the end of the day,
you are literally no different from any, supposed liberal who was trying to get people fired from their jobs for making George Floyd jokes. It is the same thing. You are no different from anyone who tried to get right-wingers fired for simply making George Floyd jokes on Twitter. It is no fucking different. There is zero difference between these two situations. Aside from the fact that You know, at least George Floyd, you know, he was just like a drug addict. You know, he wasn't like an evil pedophile supporter. So, yeah, if anything, George Floyd was a better person than Charlie Kirk. That's like the main difference. But, anyways.
We live in a civil society with basic levels of standards and respect, and any person who...
Basic levels of standards and respect? Have you seen the way that Charlie Kirk talks about trans people? Basic levels of standards and respect? Are we really gonna do the fucking civility politics bullshit now?
Is cheering this on, is disregarding that to a level where it demands punishment.
By the way, if you've ever made an edgy joke, this person, a Cheeto, is in favor of you losing your job, of you getting kicked out of school for simply making edgy shit posts. Genuinely fucking pathetic.
These people have to pay. I'm done looking at this. If you're thinking to yourself that, well, hey, hold on a second, contact their employers, that sounds like a Karen move. That sounds like
Yes, because it fucking is.
cancel culture. That sounds like the left. Okay, you know what sounds like the left right now? It sounds like, quoting here, I hope his kids died too so his wife can suffer more. That's what...
Dude, literally nobody has said that. I love how he's not able to respond to the argument that, like, yeah, you're basically just a fucking Karen at this point. Because it's obviously true that he's a Karen, and that it's Karen behavior, and that this is something that he would criticize if it was anybody else doing it. So instead of actually responding to that point, he's like, but what about like the one person out of a million that said that, actually, I want the kids to die too. Even though there are zero examples of this that I can point to.
they're saying right now, and you're talking about you're sounding like a Karen. Be a fucking Karen.
Dude, he's in favor of being a Karen now that it's beneficial for him. This is so pathetic and transparent.
That's what we need right now. We need people to punish these fucking psychopaths. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
No ifs, ands, or buts. He is in favor of censorship, period. He wants you to get censored for making edgy jokes on the internet.
We are seriously reaching a boiling point, and you might think that this video is adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, probably because it is, you fucking moron.
And I would tell you that we are reaching a point that if you are not fighting back, you are doing something wrong. If adding fuel to the fire is fighting fire with fire, then so be it, you know?
Yeah, speaking of fire, didn't you almost die in a campfire one time? And then you got rage baited by me when I had like 1,000 subs? Isn't that a thing you did? Anyways, that's besides the point.
At what point are you gonna scroll through Twitter and watch people happy that two young daughters are growing up without a father, and who, by the way...
Nobody is happy that the kids don't have a father. That's not what people are happy about. People don't give a fuck about it. Worst case scenario. People are indifferent, worst case scenario. Nobody has said that they're happy that the daughters don't have a father now. No one is saying this. What people are saying is that Charlie Kirk was a bad person, and that, you know, worst case scenario, maybe they're glad that he's not here anymore, which, frankly, I don't blame them. I don't fucking blame them for feeling that way.
When they get old enough, will be shown this video. They will be shown the video of their father being shot in the neck, and you're saying
Wait, why would they be shown this video?
oh, yeah, but I don't know. It sounds like cancel culture. You're a fucking idiot, and you deserve...
But it is cancel culture. That's literally what you're doing. You're trying to get people that you dislike, that you disagree with, to get deplatformed for making memes that you don't like. That is literally the definition of cancel culture. You fucking moron.
Nothing, honestly. You're staring in the face of evil, and you're thinking you might be a hypocrite for destroying it. Do you understand?
What? So getting people fired from their jobs for making edgy jokes is destroying evil to this guy. He thinks that you're evil. Yes, you, the audience, you're evil. If you've made an edgy joke about Charlie Kirk or George Floyd, you are evil and you need to lose your job and get kicked out of school. Fucking pathetic.
Understand how fucking stupid you sound? You sound like a fucking idiot. Now...
You sound like an idiot for expecting me to hold myself to my own standards. And expecting me to not be the most obvious and blatant fucking hypocrite imaginable.
Obvious.
It's like he's self-aware enough to know that he comes across as a complete Karen. But he's not self-aware enough to understand that that's a bad thing.
Obviously. And I've waited to the end to say this because I feel like adding a bunch of disclaimers and stupid shit before making the argument is sort of defeating the argument. I do not agree with everything Charlie Kirk said. I do not agree with
wow, so brave of you.
A lot of his positions. And
yeah, well, really, what positions? What positions of Charlie Kirk do you disagree with, Cheeto? Would you like to list them off? What do you disagree with him on?
I thought some of the stuff he said was wrong.
Like what? Can you give me specific examples?
Very wrong. I don't agree with him
on,
I'd say 70% of things, maybe 60% of things.
Wow.
But
like what specifically?
To even bring that up seems so useless when there is such a...
but actually I don't want to bring it up because actually I don't meaningfully disagree with him on anything because he has all the same retarded right-wing positions as me.
Greater threat at stake, right? Because with Charlie Kirk, I could have talked it out. We could have said, hey, why do you think that? Excuse me. And he could have said, here's why. And I would have said, well, I disagree. And we could have had a conversation. But with these people, it's, what? I think this.
But you obviously don't want to have a conversation because you're in favor of people getting deplatformed, you fucking moron. You're also in favor of people getting deplatformed for making edgy jokes because you are the fun police. A Cheeto is the literal definition of an online hall monitor, okay? Massive hall monitor energy right fucking here. Massive hall monitor energy. You cannot convince me that a Cheeto is anything other than the most insufferable online hall monitor who says that you're not allowed to make those jokes. You're not allowed to say that. That's offensive. You can't make jokes about a dead guy. That's not very nice. You need to lose your job and get kicked out of school for that.
Oh, you think that? Well, you are a racist, bigoted, homophobic piece of shit, and I want you to fucking lose it all. And if you gain enough followers, if you gain enough people, and if you...
I don't know, this strawman argument of what a left-winger sounds like is what you sound like right now. The whole, I want you to lose it all. I don't know, for instance, I want you to lose your job. The thing that you just fucking said.
You're saying what you say on a college campus, you might get shot. That's where we are. So, it's time to wake up. It really is. If this isn't a wake-up call, then I just don't know what is. If
this isn't a wake-up call to cancel our opposition and get them deplatformed, then I don't know what is.
Watching this video right now, I want you to understand that if you died and someone saw that you had left a like on some of my videos, there would be a justification for your own death. You understand?
What? Huh? Wait, we gotta rewind that. That was not a real sentence. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Understand that if you died and someone saw that you had left a like on some of my videos, there would be a justification for your own death. You understand?
What? So true. They would at first they'd be like, wow, that murder was wrong, but then they'd see that they were a retarded 12-year-old that left a like on an Cheeto video. Oh shit. Fuck it. That school shooting, that was justified. Yeah, it's so true. That's exactly what people would say. You fucking moron.
Understand that? Do you understand how fucking insane that is? Is that insane? Yeah.
Hold on, give me a sec, chat. Give me a sec. Hold on. Anyways, we're back. Sorry about that. Just had to answer a question. Where were we?
I think it is. And that's what's happening. If I died, they would say that would be fine. There would be people, because I know there's hundreds of thousands of...
I hate to break it to you, Cheeto, but you are not that important. I don't think people would talk about it. I'm gonna be so fucking for real.
Tweets with hundreds of thousands of likes that are saying this is great. What do you think they think of me?
Dude, I don't even think that there'd be hundreds of thousands of people that know you exist. Like, what, aside from your, audience of 12-year-olds? Nobody fucking cares. You make a garbage commentary right-wing slop. No one cares you exist. You're not important.
I'm 21 years old. I'm a successful young man who's made a channel on YouTube, and I'm doing all right for myself. But people find one or two things they don't like that I say, and...
No, I actually dislike your entire channel, because your entire channel sucks and is retarded. And you make horrible arguments, and you're a hypocrite, and you're insufferable, and you're whiny, and you're overly sensitive, and you're a fucking snowflake. And this is just more evidence of that being the case.
That's it. That's all they need. That's all the justification they need to, disregard my humanity. Exhibit A.
Right.
And,
hold on.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any fucking tone policing from people saying that, oh, wait, this rhetoric is being dialed up. It's like, and I think they fucking took it to 10 about 2 days ago. You know? That's ridiculous.
Hey, Cheeto, you can't be against tone policing when you literally just said a minute ago that people should lose their jobs for not being sad about Charlie Kirk dying, you fucking idiot. We gotta replay that.
Policing from people saying that, oh, wait, this rhetoric is being dialed up. It's like, and I think they fucking took it to...
Hold on, we gotta...
Yeah, I don't want to hear any fucking tone policing from people saying that, oh, wait, this rhetoric is being dialed up. It's like, and
I don't want to hear any tone policing, but let me proceed to tone police people that made jokes I don't like about Charlie Kirk and say that they need to lose their jobs over it. For shit that they say on Twitter.
I think they fucking took it to 10 about 2 days ago. You know? That's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. And I want to take some time really quickly and go over some tweets that I've been seeing from people, because some of these are just fucking insane, and I want to look at them because they're worth looking.
Fucking insane, guys.
And let's here. Let me mute Twitter real quick. I'm gonna pull these up, and we're gonna get into this. So, yeah, let's take a look at this. So, anyway, the shooter for Charlie Kirk, they found out that he's like a white male or something, and immediately, Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old white man who grew up Christian, not a trans person, not a POC, not an immigrant, a white person, and it's a gif of this guy dancing.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable to be happy about. Like, yeah, I'm glad it's not a trans person, because I don't want to get fucking targeted more than I already am for being trans. Because you know for a fucking fact that if it was a trans person, it would be weaponized against us. In fact, It is so obviously the case, considering the fact that they went out of their way to see, oh, actually, this guy's roommate was trans. They found, oh, the guy's roommate is trans. So that must have been what influenced him to do the shooting. So clearly, yes, they are going to target people on the basis of being trans if they're even remotely affiliated with the person who did the shooting, let alone if they were the shooter. Yeah, actually, it is reasonable to celebrate that I won't be, targeted even more by the right after the shooting took place. Now, granted, it turns out that, trans people are the scapegoat anyway, so we ended up being targeted anyway, but yeah, that's besides the point.
It's got 100,000 likes, guys. They're more worried about the optics of the shooter being black than the actual violence that occurred in the perpetuation.
Well, yeah, obviously. Why the fuck wouldn't they be?
Of the violence. Look at this. Can you, it's not...
Yeah, I obviously care more about, I don't know, the safety of minority groups than I do about Charlie Kirk, you fucking idiot.
We're not civil. We're not even on...
You're not being civil enough. You're not allowed to make jokes on Twitter or say things that I don't like. You need to lose your job. By the way, this is what he thinks that people should lose their job over. He thinks that the person that tweeted this should lose their job.
I don't know. He was not black, not trans, not Muslim, not Hispanic. Basically, he was a kid who wore a Donald Trump costume for Halloween. Did I get that right?
Hell yeah. He thinks that this person should be fired for this tweet, by the way.
Dude, how do I explain this to you? You are literally, like, you're brain broken. Like, you're fucked. Like, you don't...
It's actually you guys that are brain broken.
You're not even, like, you're not even a real human. Like, you can't even...
Whoa, that's dehumanizing rhetoric, Ichido. I thought you were against that. What happened?
Experience emotion properly, because before an emotion reaches your...
Wait, what do you mean you can't experience emotion properly? Charlie Kirk was against empathy.
Brain reaches the part of your brain that makes you actually feel something. It goes...
Oh, okay, so yeah, you're just not feeling enough emotions, okay? All right, my feelings don't care about your facts, guys.
Goes through this man-made, artificial, politically correct filter and...
Huh? You are the one that's trying to create an artificial, politically correct filter that says you're not allowed to make edgy jokes without losing your fucking job. That's you, buddy. That's you. You're the one that wants everyone to be politically correct. How dare you make edgy jokes and not be civil enough for my liking?
Man-made, artificial, politically correct filter and morphs the emotion into information that you digest, and then you come up with a take and then spit it out. You're not even like a fucking person. You're like a robot. You're a robot for thinking about things logically. Like,
I don't know, coming to the conclusion that like, oh, well, at least they can't, you know, weaponize this against minorities as much as they'd be able to if it was like a black transgender woman. Like, yeah, that's like a reasonable thing to think. But you're not emotional enough. You're not even human. You don't feel enough emotions for Charlie Kirk. You know, the guy that advocated against your right to exist.
It's fucking human algorithm for like.
I thought comedy was legal again. Did Elon lie? Yes, Elon lied. Dude, comedy was legal for 6 months. And now comedy is illegal again. All right? I enjoyed comedy while it lasted, but it's now no longer legal. You know, comedy is legal with the Charlie Kirk. Comedy is legal again with the Charlie Kirk exception, of course. You know, it's my favorite part of the First Amendment in the Constitution is you're allowed to, you know, say whatever you want unless it's about Charlie Kirk. That's where they draw the line. All right, you know, the obviously the Charlie Kirk exemption in the Constitution. You know, we forgot to read that part in school, obviously.
Like politics, it's not. I don't know. This is not okay. A straight white man, dude, he was a straight white man. Oh my God, yes. We're not going to make fun of trans people or black people or immigrants because he's...
Yeah, that's like a reasonable thing to be happy about if you're any of those groups.
Straight and white. You should...
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't want right-wingers to act violently towards people like me over something that I didn't do. Yeah, that's like reasonable to be happy that like there's less reason for them to do that. Even if, you know, their quote-unquote reason would be extremely irrational, right? Now, granted, they're weaponizing it anyway and saying that it's trans people's fault regardless.
You should be kicked out of civil society.
You should be kicked out of civil society for making a joke I don't like? Are you fucking serious?
Premise is finding out that Tyler Robinson is a straight white male. I don't care what race this guy is. I care that the reactions from people would have been the same either way. They're happy the dude got...
No, because people would be weaponizing it against trans people if it was a trans person. I don't think you understand that.
Shot, and they're happy the shooter is white so they don't get to...
In fact, right-wingers were so fucking desperate to use it against trans people that they did it anyway. It didn't even fucking matter that the shooter wasn't trans because, oh, but they were friends with somebody that was trans. So it's trans people's fault. So clearly, yeah, that's like a reasonable thing to be concerned about, you fucking moron. You actual mega hyper dotard.
Would have been the same either way. They're happy the dude got shot, and they're happy the shooter's white so they don't get blamed.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to be blamed for a shooting. Yeah, that's reasonable. What? You think that somebody should be fired from their job because they don't want to be blamed for a shooting that happened? Are you fucking kidding?
And then Dean Withers thought about running a poll in chat about whether or not whether or not Charlie Kirk deserved to die. He opted not to poll in fear of the results. Mind you, this kid is not a good person. He cried when Charlie Kirk died, and he got scorched to fuck. Because
it was fucking pathetic. I'm sorry. Look, I don't have anything against Dean Withers. And I get it. He feels like he's closer in proximity. So, like, maybe it affects him more, right? It's more reasonable for him to be upset than for you to be upset, Ichido. Because this is actually something that he was more so in proximity to. But, yeah.
People were upset at his human emotion of sadness and grief when someone who he met in the...
No, people weren't upset over it. People just thought it was funny and pathetic. Now, granted, I don't particularly, you know, find myself judging him too hard for it. You know, people respond in different ways. But, now I'm not going to judge him the same way that I'm not going to judge people that, I don't know, make fucking edgy jokes about it. Maybe I'll judge them a little bit more than that, but I don't know.
Flesh died. These people are not real. They are not real. They are demonic. They are demonic in nature, and I don't say that often, but...
They're demonic for making jokes I don't like on Twitter.
I think we're reaching a point where the label is more appropriate than ever. They are demonic, and
they're demonic,
there needs
guys.
to be some level of understanding that this is what we're up against. This is what's happening, okay? I'm not a political expert. I don't know much about what's happening in the world at all.
Yeah, we can tell you don't know much about anything. You're one of the dumbest people ever to cover these topics. You are fucking brain dead.
I know that this is wrong because I'm a real human being. I'm a real person.
I know that it's wrong to make edgy jokes because I'm a real human being and I'm sensitive to that and that hurts my feelings.
Person at the end of the day. And when I react to someone getting shot in the throat with sadness and I'm met with disagreeers, then we got a pretty big fucking problem.
What? People aren't disagreeing with you feeling sad. People are shitting on you because you're saying that people need to be fired from their jobs for making jokes about Charlie Kirk. You fucking moron.
And let's take a look at this. Charlie Kirk, yeah, let's see. I can't believe these people exist.
How do you feel about Charlie
How do you feel that Charlie
Kirk
Kirk is getting assassinated?
Some people say it's deserved.
to get murdered in front of his children and family?
When God calls you home, you gotta go.
You think God called him home? It's well deserved. For
Look,
him
it's part of God's plan. I mean, I can't disagree with that.
specifically getting killed, womp womp. He got what he deserved.
I mean, I can't entirely disagree with this. It's like, yeah, Charlie Kirk was like a violent person. He had some of the most violent rhetoric. So, why would I give a fuck?
Honestly, I feel like he just got what he deserved.
Yeah, so that's where we are. That's where we are. We have smug
Yeah, womp womp. Yeah, who gives a fuck?
responses to the. I mean, it's.
You're not allowed to be smug. You need to lose your job for that.
Anyway, to get to the point of the video, get these people in trouble. Do not debate them.
Get these people in trouble and do not debate them? Is this what American hero Charlie Kirk would have wanted? He died during the national tragedy of 9/10. And you're saying that you're going to disrespect the legacy of this free speech warrior by saying don't debate them? Don't have a conversation with them, just get them in trouble? Is this what Charlie Kirk would have wanted, Cheeto?
Just get them in trouble, okay? You know, these people who speak like this, they have jobs, they have schools. There needs to be accountability. There just has to be.
Dude, yeah, make sure to tell their employers, guys. So pathetic.
Because this is promotion and incitement of violence. If you disagree with that, you're fucking.
Yeah, people saying that they don't care that Charlie died is violence. Are you fucking kidding? Saying like, yeah, he was like a bad person. Or even going as far as to say, yeah, he kind of deserved it. Like, that's not violence. That's just saying, yeah, I don't give a fuck, he deserved it. He was a terrible person. Why would I be sad about it? Which is perfectly reasonable. I'm not sad about it. I don't give a fuck.
Wrong. And you know that these people are upset, and you know that this is.
Like, is it wrong, okay? Let's say that there was like a Jewish person that made fun of a dead Nazi that died the other day. Do you think it would be wrong for them to do that? Do you think they should be fired from their job over that? Of course not. That would be fucking retarded. Why is that different from, I don't know, somebody like me who's trans making fun of Charlie Kirk after he died? He was known for being extremely transphobic and was even in favor of banning gender-affirming care for everybody, including adults. He thinks that I should be denied access to necessary medical care and that I should be forced to detransition. Yeah, I don't see why that's any different. So it's like Jewish people are allowed to make fun of dead Nazis, but trans people aren't allowed to make fun of dead transphobes? Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's fucking stupid. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. And I argue that all of it's okay.
Something that they know has consequences only when they meet them. They will not understand it in any way other than how it will affect them.
This is so pathetic.
When you see videos of people saying, "Oh my god, I got fucking fired," they're displaying more emotion than when they saw a guy get his fucking neck put a hole in. So,
yeah, as they should, because like obviously getting fired is worse than Charlie Kirk dying. Obviously, like yeah, obviously somebody is gonna care more about them losing their job, you know, the thing that they rely on to fucking survive, than they do about some disgusting right-wing political freak who advocated against their right to exist. Yeah, obviously I would be more sad about losing my job than that. Like, hello?
that's where we're at. Anyway, yeah, no script for this video. I don't know if it was good. I hope it was good. I hope that you watched till the end, and I hope that what I'm saying can get across to you. And I hope that we can reach better days. I don't want violence. I don't want division or hatred.
You don't want division, you say, while being the most sides-cucked motherfucker I have ever seen.
But I do need accountability. I cannot have people promoting and justifying.
I need accountability. You're not allowed to make edgy jokes about Charlie Kirk's death, or to not feel bad about it. You're legally required to feel bad about Charlie Kirk's death, okay? Comedy is no longer legal on Twitter, guys.
Violence without accountability, okay? If me saying I don't want violence and that these people who are promoting it need to be held accountable is stirring division, then okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'd rather disavow violence and attack violence than remain.
Yeah, you're attacking violence by targeting people that make edgy jokes on Twitter or that don't care that Charlie Kirk died. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not required to care about anything. Why would I care? Why would I give a fuck? Charlie Kirk was an evil person.
a bystander. So anyway, goodbye.
This was so fucking pathetic. I think I might make that into, like, I might cut that up and make it into a video segment. So if I do, well, let me take off my headphones. Boo-boo-boo. Adjust my hair slightly, because it's a fucking mess. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more videos / stream segments like this, feel free to subscribe with... Oh god, my hair's a mess. Anyways, if you agree with me, if you thought that I made good points, you like hearing what I have to say, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe with notifications on. I'm going to try to upload at least once a week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to that, but, you know, we'll see, we'll see. I also try to live stream every night. I've been a little bit inactive lately, but we're gonna try to fix that as well. And, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and, I will see you all in the next one. I think I lost brain cells from a Cheeto. Me too. Me too. Me fucking too. Massive Cheeto L. I'm not actually leaving the stream. Not yet. I was just like, in case I make that into a video. That was like the outro for that video. Anyways. Holy shit. Well, that was fucking AIDS. Oh my god. So what now? I don't know what now. You tell me. Femi eats mac and cheese with a spoon, yeah, and? What's wrong with that, What's the issue? I don't know, dude. For me, my family is really not trans accepting. What should I do? Prioritize your own safety over everything else, obviously. And, look, I don't know what your exact living situation is. Obviously, you're gonna want to, like, you know, as soon as you're financially independent, like, probably just cut them off if they can't accept you. But if you currently rely on them, good luck. And, yeah. But, anyways. Oh. Hair's always perfect indeed. Let's go. Yo. Thank you, Randy S., for the $10, you beautiful fucking bastard, saying there's a video going around of a Karen pressuring a Starbucks barista to say Charlie Kirk and freaking out when she doesn't. Yo, could you send that to me on Discord? I might react to that. I might react to that on another stream. Oh, I'm so tired. Alright, greetings, Femyoz. Why, hello. Hope you're doing well. Oh man, I need to drink some water. I got fucking heated during that segment. I feel like I had to repeat myself so much. Me too. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. I'm so depressed. I'm EP and depressed. You know, it's one of those things. It's so cringe. She's less right-wing and more mentally ill? Than what? Than a Cheeto? I don't know about more mentally ill. Less right-wing is true. A Cheeto has like a different type of mental illness to me, though, to be fair. Anyways. Oh, the Karen video? Oh, you're saying it's not about her being right-wing, it's more about her being mentally ill? Oh, interesting. I'll be sure to react to it on stream at some point. I sent it. Sorry for the stinky Reddit link, no worries. I'll take a look tomorrow, assuming I stream. Or whenever my next stream is. I need to, like, make a bunch of stream segments. I gotta edit. So I'll probably do that on like a Discord call, I think. I'll like do like an editing VC or something. Anyways. Yeah, Reddit, but censored. Yes, Reddit, my favorite slur Reddit. Hello, Wallman. Hope you're doing well. Anyways, oh. Oh man. Slur, yes, indeed. Sorry for the dead air. I'm just like fucking exhausted. I haven't streamed in a while. It's been a long time. You know, it's hard to entertain people when you're not in the habit of streaming on a daily basis. You know, it's like I feel like I'm just burnt out on life in general. Like it just in life, I'm like burnt. I'm like burnt out like a motherfucker, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Hi, exhausted. I'm Melody. Hello, Melody. Feel you there? Yeah. I wish I wasn't fucking burnt out on life, you know? I wish I wasn't burnt out. You need a vacation or something? I don't think that's gonna solve anything. Like, people, like, keep saying, like, short-term solutions. Like, well, go on vacation. Take a break. It's like, yeah, I've taken a break. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't make me feel any better. If anything, I get worse during the break. Because I'm just, like, consistently getting worse mentally. Do you know the streamer / YouTube channel Actual Jake? They're familiar. You two have similar lefty vibes? Is that so? Is he like a streamer? Honestly, fair. I don't know. How good was the Cheeto segment? Was it entertaining? Did I do a good job on it? I have no idea. I feel like a lot of the time I was like repeating myself. Because like, I was like, what else am I meant to say? Anyways. It was good? Alright, bet. Oh, I hope it was entertaining. I'm gonna have to like heavily edit it because it's like repetitive and like I think that the recording is like 50 minutes long or some shit. It's like way longer than I expected. Because I was yapping. I enjoyed it? Okay, good. Thank God. It was fun? Alright, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. A bunch of Bible thumpers came in, but oh well. Yeah, I really do be like that. The repeats drove home the hypocritical shit he kept saying. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, I have a lot of editing to do. Oh, man. Let's see. It isn't love if we don't have a choice to love him or not. Yeah, sure, but like, it's obviously going to be the case that like, if hell is eternal suffering, you know, it's like not really a choice. That's like a gun to your head. It's like, yeah, you can choose to get shot, but that's not like a choice. You hit main points. It was driven home. Could have been concise, but more time I get to stare. Fair. That's an evil god to me. Yes, stream is good. I mean, I was supposed to be looking at how to flash Arcos. I don't know what that means. I found the stream almost an hour ago instead. Well, I'm glad you found the stream that you've been enjoying it. It's dictatorship to me. Yeah, exactly. We send ourselves there, IMO? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what if I just don't want to exist after I'm dead? Like, why is that not an option? Why should I be eternally suffering? Why can't I just cease to exist? It's fucking retarded that that's not an option. I didn't choose to exist. No one chooses to exist. And the notion that there's like an infinite extension of that against your will is fucking horrifying. Like, supposedly when God comes back, hell will be destroyed and everything in it, so eternal punishment won't be permanent. That's so fucking dumb. If he's all powerful, he could just destroy hell right now by like snapping his fingers. Why doesn't he do that? It's not logical. Either way, like 1,000,000 years is still way the fuck too much. Like, I'm gonna be so real. Hey, gorgeous. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Good to see you too, Ashley. Punish me, daddy. Hello, Kimmy. That's a crazy thing to say. But yeah. I agree, it's just dumb. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I hope that the Cheeto segment wasn't too repetitive just because, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's, like, good enough to be a video. Like, would you watch that as, like, a video? I think you would have, right? Like, if it was, like, a video? I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm, like, kind of insecure about, like, my ability to, like, make something into, like, a video. Like, is this video worthy? You know what I mean? Like, is this something that's gonna be, like, that's not gonna get any views because, like, it's, like, an old topic or whatever? This is referring to God, just to be clear. Yeah, and? I don't view that as any different. Hi, my sexy soft teddy bear. Hello, Eric Vandenborn. I'm so excited to see you again. When God comes, the sinners will be punished. Revelations or something, IDK. I got horny and had to leave church to jerk off when they said that. True. True. Most Republicans tend to be repetitive. Yeah, I feel like to an extent it wasn't my fault because he kept repeating himself, and it's like I have the same response to the dumb shit that he says every time. Anyways. Like, if I'm doing it in a live format, like, that's very difficult. Like, I would have a completely different approach for an edited video, right? So, like, that's why I'm like, do I make the stream segment into a video? Because I could do a better video on this specific subject matter by, like, preparing ahead of time. They repeat themselves because they don't know what else to say. Yeah, and it creates, like, this endless loop. Got horny and had to leave. Relatable lol. Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's just like, you know, during the church sermon, you know, it's like, you know, me, you know, back when I was like 10 and, you know, the priest, you know, we had to, you know, blow off some steam. So, you know, we'd go into the bathroom and, you know, fun stuff would happen. R.I.P. CK is a human, but speaking of Soak Split, I wouldn't even say rest in peace to him. He was a bad person. Anyways. Hell is no better than heaven when heaven is literally my hell. I could obey the commandments and give my life to God, but I'd be killing everything about myself just to be in hell either way. Yeah, I'm not sure how heaven is described. Like, when I was religious, I always just, like, imagined, like, heaven is, like, infinite pleasure. Like, it's like it's like an infinite pleasure machine. Like, you don't have the capacity to experience negative things, and you only have the capacity to experience positive things. Does that make sense? That's what I always used to think it was when I was religious. To be fair, I was a kid. But still, that was sort of my conception of it. That's sort of how I visualized it. Saw Femi streaming. Let's just say I became a pole vault sports player. Let's fucking go. Getting people into sports. My love, can you throw your long hair over your face and say my big soft teddy bear with your low voice, my love? I'll be sure to do that. My understanding is we can't understand it, but it's pure good through God. Yeah, but like, is it something that's like enjoyable? What if I don't want to go to heaven or hell? What if I just don't want to exist after I'm dead? Why can't that be an option? Why am I forced to suffer infinitely? It's not very loving at all. Yeah, honestly. In heaven, you essentially serve God for eternity, which sounds like a punishment. True. True. Yeah, I'd get bored so fucking quickly. Guys, I think Femi has an admirer. True. Kirk at this point is just a quote-unquote trending topic. And it's kind of even more disrespectful recording yourself and ranting about what others are doing rather than actually caring for the family, you know? Well, yeah, because, like, these people don't actually give a fuck about it. Granted, I'm not somebody that's, like, that cares if people are respectful or not. It's fucking Charlie Kirk. He's fucking dead. Who cares? And he was, like, a terrible person. But, you know. Anyways, I gotta start pushing out some videos. I'm willing to bet some emotion and feeling are removed if you go to heaven. Well, I would hope that, like, all the negative emotions would be removed, right? And that, like, your like positive emotions would be, like, amplified infinitely, so it's just, like, constant pleasure. The only way heaven doesn't turn into pain is if you can remove memory. Yeah, but, like, that fundamentally presupposes that, like, your consciousness would function the same way that it does on Earth. So I don't know how good of an internal critique that would be. Like if your brain only has the capacity to experience pleasure and it doesn't have the capacity to experience pain, and it's like constantly producing dopamine, then you're not going to get bored, right? So I don't know if that would be like a good internal critique, to be fair. I also believe in purgatory, which is a whole nother level of, it's your soul though? Yeah, and? What if I don't want to exist anymore? What if I don't want to be conscious? Why am I forced to continue existing as a soul? I think that's ridiculous. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to be conscious. I wish you sitting on my lap and throw your long hair over your face. Teddy bear emoji, teddy bear emoji, teddy bear emoji, teddy bear emoji. Jesus Christ. What if you went to heaven and everything seemed perfect, but then God randomly said, by the way, it's pronounced Jod, you've been saying it wrong this whole time? That'd be funny as hell. The Bible actually says Gentiles will be slaves in the afterlife. That's fucking horrid. I also don't understand why God would need people to serve him if he's all powerful. That seems fucking stupid. Like, you're all powerful. You can do anything you want. You don't need people to do it for you. It's ridiculous. Come to India. I have a working toilet. Let's go. You won't? Well, either way, it's a humiliation thing. Maybe that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, do you remember someone by the name of Onyx? Because if so, that's me. Yes, I do, actually. Welcome back. Onyx, or I guess now known as Mel. Anyways. He needs the validation to make him feel strong. Yeah, which is kind of absurd. Like, why would a God that's all-powerful need external validation? That doesn't make very much sense. You know what I mean? I have a theory that we are actually food for the God, and that we are his crops. That makes a lot more sense than what Christianity preaches. I'm going to be totally honest. At least it's internally consistent, where it's like not an all-powerful God, it's just like a God that like uses us as like a means to an end. Maybe it's like a Wizard of Oz type of thing. I don't know. Like in Christianity, no, I don't think so. I think that Christianity is just like logically incoherent. Catnip is a gateway drug? True. Very, very true. Bruh, I think your cat is trying to get high. Is she in the background? No, she's over there, sleeping. Yes, it goes from catnip to weed to fentanyl. Very true. Very fucking true. Very, very dangerous for cat girls to be doing catnip. I have now a soft teddy bear on my lap. That's look like you so very soft. Wow, I'm so glad to hear that, Eric. Femi, what's for dinner? Toenail and cough medicine stew. Hello, this is my alt channel, Lamau. I have a secondary channel on my Google account, so my PFP doesn't change on Google. I have a Google family sharing thing, not trying to come out to them for a while. Ah, I see. I see. That makes sense. Femtanol, true. Femitanol, oh yeah. It's pronounced femtanol. Oh yeah. A being of infinite power doesn't need validation. That's my point. They claim that their God is of infinite power, but that he also needs validation. This is a contradiction. Like, why would he need our validation if he was all-powerful? It doesn't make any sense. Can you do it for me with your long hair, my sexy soft teddy bear? Yeah. Did you watch the David Pacman video on the fishy Trump election voting trends? I actually did not. But welcome back. It's good to have you back here. I don't think that, though. What don't you think specifically? Okay, for real, though, look up Eucharistic miracles. I'm pretty sure I looked that up and there was just, like, no evidence behind them. It was just like, oh, like, a guy said something. And it's like, wow, that's great. I don't have any reason to trust that person, though. A lot of people say a lot of things in order to end up in positions of religious power. Like, people make shit up, and we have to accept that's the reality of the matter. Trump needs to be nerfed, lol. Yeah. Yeah, he has way too much fucking power. It's crazy. To be fair, even the best of doms like to hear that they did a good job from time to time. True. True. I always be, I was about to say, well, never mind. You guys are gonna make fun of me if I say that. So I'm just gonna put on chapstick instead. Religion should be used to help deal with morality, not to gain control. I disagree with that as well. I don't think that religion should be used to deal with morality, right? Because obviously, whether or not something is moral is a statement about whether or not you ought to do it, right? So if you indoctrinate people into believing that they ought or ought not doing something, you are inadvertently having some level of power over their actions if you're able to convince them one way or the other based on a religious worldview that is not able to be, changed through logic and reasoning for the most part. Oh, mortality, sorry. I'm my bad. Okay, yeah. Yes, I think that dealing with mortality through religion is fine. I misread that. My bad. Speaking of doms, that is something you are not. Femi, bottom, shut up. I am a big, strong top. I am a big, strong top. Are you a card-carrying nihilist or whatever now, lol? I'm a utilitarian. Utilitarianism is very different from nihilism, I must say. I think that heaven is largely just socialism, largely run by machines. Also, a lot of genetic enhancements. That sounds awesome. Spankings inbound? No, I don't need spankings. What do you mean, spankings inbound? Someone call her a good girl and see if she folds in half. No, that's not how it works. What type of utilitarian are you? I'm a hedonic act utilitarian. If you're a big, strong top, then I'm Abraham Lincoln in cat ears. Hello, Abraham Lincoln. I love your cat ears. Didn't Trump label trans people as nihilists now or whatever? Oh, shit. Did he actually? It was a joke. Okay. Dude, I guess trans people are all nihilists. That's true. Dude, I guess I can't be a utilitarian anymore. Anyways. I'm finna call her Femi. She just doesn't know it yet. Shut up. Look, I would never be collared or leashed. That would be crazy. I'd fold 2 TBH and I'm not a bottom or anything, I swear. See, this is what I mean when I say that you guys are all just projecting. Don't you own a collar and leash, Femi? So what? Nice. I'm agnostic on objective list theory versus hedonism. Yeah, the reason that I lean towards hedonism is just because it seems like there's like a better, like, I don't know, like I've seen like a better meta-ethical justification for it as well. Like, I don't know, it just like coincides with like a moral realist view from what I've seen. I don't know. I'm not like super into like meta-ethics or anything. I don't really know that much about it, but it just seems like the most logical starting point for like an objective framework. Right. Like for instance, like the reason that I wouldn't, so like my view on something like, truth utilitarianism, for instance, is that like truth is like only valuable, like in the context of it maximizing human happiness, right? It is generally the case that people being aware of the truth is something that benefits us mentally, right? I would also argue that, like, I don't know, like, it's not morally bad to tell your kid that Santa Claus exists. It's not morally bad to lie to the Nazi police officer when there's like a fucking, whatchamacallit, when there's like a Jewish person hiding in your attic, right? So like, I wouldn't defer to truth beyond like how useful it is in any given context, if that makes sense. And preference is very similar to hedonism, like preference-based utilitarianism. I noticed that they're very similar, but I feel like preferences are derived from qualia that's experienced, not the other way around. It's not that you prefer something and then experience qualia as a result of that preference. It's that you experience qualia and you have preferences on that basis. So the issue I would have with deferring to preference-based utilitarianism is that preferences are merely derived from the thing that's actually important, right? Because you can still break it down further. So like I do have my reasons for being like a hedonic utilitarian. I just heard truth is only valuable when it's convenient. No, I said that truth is valuable because it operates within the context of benefiting people, right? So for instance, if there is a Nazi police officer who asks you if there is a Jewish person hiding in your attic, and there is, the morally correct thing to do is to lie to them, right? It is obviously the case that truth in of itself is not valuable and in of itself doesn't need to be maximized. That is not the morally best thing to do because there are instances in which it is morally good to lie. Again, take the example of the Nazi police officer asking you, is there a Jewish person hiding in your attic? It is morally bad to tell the truth in that case, if there is. Right? So I wouldn't defer to truth as the ultimate deciding factor as to whether or not something is moral. I think it is a good reference point. I think it is something worth looking at. I think that generally it's the case that dishonesty is immoral and leads to bad outcomes in the long term. I think that if we live in a society that's dishonest, that society is one that is dispreferable to one that is honest. Right? So it's not that I'm against honesty. I'm very in favor of honesty. But I don't view it as the ultimate deciding factor of whether or not something is moral. There is a difference. Ethics is so lame, lol. How is it lame? It's very interesting. I don't know what you mean. I was raised to tell the truth even if it gets you in trouble. Why? Why would you do that? Like, would you, in the case of the Nazi police officer knocking on your door, asking you, is there a Jewish person hiding in your attic? Would you tell them the truth if there was? You just like let them get sent to the fucking concentration camp? I would hope that your answer is fucking obviously not. Like, if your answer is anything other than, no, I wouldn't do that because that's fucking evil, then, like, you're insane. You're like a psychopath that doesn't care about the well-being of human beings. So, yeah. Well, let me finish. Well, dog, nobody is interrupting you. You're typing. But nothing I say is going to interrupt you from typing. No, you said it was valuable when it benefited you. Suggesting truth is invaluable when it is inconvenient. No, not when it's inconvenient. When it leads to a net negative in outcomes, right? So the example I brought up is a net negative outcome. That is a case where it is wrong to tell the truth. So you were just factually incorrect. I've made it very clear that in most cases, telling the truth coincides with the morally correct decision, right? In most cases, it is wrong to be dishonest. To be a fundamentally dishonest person is a bad thing, right? I don't even have to make a utilitarian argument for that. I would just argue from like the like you could literally like make an argument from like the standpoint of like a virtue ethicist, right? Like if I were to take a look at like I believe that virtue ethics is something that can be implemented as well in order to maximize utility, right? I think that like virtue ethics can be built off of a utilitarian framework. That is to say that if you are such and such type of person, that maximizes utility. And I would generally say that if you are an honest person and an honest actor, and you are not deceiving or malicious, that is something that maximizes utility, right? Obviously, there are circumstances when the truth can be irrelevant due to moral ramifications. Yeah, that's my point. That's literally what I said. That is to say that the truth is not valuable in of itself. It's valuable as a means to an end. Like everything else. Is it not? It is foolish to say that a lot of things are valuable in of themselves. For instance, I don't think that humans are valuable in of themselves, right? For instance, like a brain-dead human is not valuable. Why? Because it doesn't experience consciousness. It doesn't have the capacity to experience positive or negative qualia. There is no value there. Your example of 1943 Germany or a kid believing in Santa Claus would be on a moral circumstance. But that's what I'm saying, is we don't determine morality exclusively based on whether or not someone is telling the truth. We might use it as a reference point. We might say it is bad to lie in this instance or in most instances. And I would agree with that, right? But it is purely based on the predicted outcomes that determine whether or not it is moral or immoral, right? And again, both examples I came up with are instances in which the predicted outcomes are better when you lie. Anyways, why is my shit not working? That's weird. Did I lag? That was weird. This is why I said ethics is lame? I disagree with that. Anyways. I just now realized Femi is the only person I've actively watched on live streams. Any other streams, I've always watched the VODs. Yeah, Sam. I always watch the VODs too for most streamers. Ethics are great. I agree. Let's see here. Would you let the utility monster devour you? Yes. Unironically, yes. The utility monster is worth more moral consideration than I am. I think I actually wrote something about that, right? I think that, like, you almost have to, like, take, like, an unintuitive position there, and the reason is because, we underemphasize the amount of value that the utility monster gets, and we overemphasize the amount of value that would be taken away from humanity, right? But that's because we fundamentally presuppose that humanity is worth more moral consideration than anything else, right? And that sort of challenges that assertion. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle with the utility monster argument. I think a child at 14 should be able to have surgery to change genders. Pretty sure that's below the age of medical consent, so no. But I do think that they should be able to have access to things like puberty blockers and then HRT after 2 years of puberty blockers. You know, the thing that's, like, medically recommended if you have gender dysphoria. So, you know. IDK, say on a date or something? I mean, it depends on the context. Like, for instance, like, if you're on a date with, like, a really rapey guy, and you're, like, scared of him, and then you tell him that you're gonna get up to go to the bathroom, let's say, but in reality, you just, like, leave the restaurant, because he's, like, terrifying, and, like, you're afraid of getting raped or something. And it's, like, more like, but, like, say, for instance, if you're on a date and you're doing it to, like, impress somebody, I would argue that's, like, moral wrongdoing, right? So, again, it depends on the context, right? What maximizes utility? In the case of somebody that's scared for their life, it's maximizing utility to lie. If it's the case that, say, for instance, you know, you're doing it for, like, a more, like, I don't know if I would say more selfish reason, but, like, for in a way that, like, decreases utility, right? Like, lying to somebody that you're going on a date with decreases utility for both parties involved, mind you. Then that would be wrong, obviously. That suggests that you never had contact with them in the rapey situation? What? What are you talking about? Like, if somebody comes across as, like, really inconsiderate of boundaries, right, and you're scared for your life, like, I think it's fine to lie to them in order to get them to leave you alone, right? I think that's, like, perfectly reasonable. Or, like, say, for instance, if there's like a creepy man flirting with a woman, right, and they're, like, incessant and they won't stop, right? It is morally justifiable for the woman to say, I have a boyfriend, even if she's single. Why? Because the predicted utility is that the guy is more likely to stop harassing her. So, yeah. Puberty blockers can make you infertile. What if they regret it? Well, the thing about puberty blockers is you can stop taking them and you won't be infertile. Now, HRT can make you infertile. But again, you have 2 years to decide on puberty blockers, let's say. Like, let's say you go on puberty blockers for 2 years. That's 2 years to decide whether or not you want to follow through with it. And not just for you to decide, but also for the parents and the doctor to decide. right? So it's not just like the kid making the decision either. It is a medical decision that needs to be approved by a doctor after a diagnosis of gender dysphoria that is persistent, as well as the approval of the kids and the child wanting it. So, yeah. You've never had an instance where you lied and the consequences were much worse than if you told the truth. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. Yeah, of course there have been instances where lying leads to worse consequence. Now, I will say lying to authority figures or fudging the truth a little bit at the very least generally does maximize good outcomes. Growing up, I would say that, if you lie to get out of trouble for breaking a rule that was retarded, because fuck the rules, right? If I'm going to follow a rule, there ought to be a logical reason for me to do it. Other than that's the rule, you have to follow it. So if I break a rule that's entirely arbitrary and not worth following, then I would say it's morally justifiable for me to lie if I'm about to get caught or something. Lying to get out of the situation of a rapey date, that doesn't work because you didn't meet the consequence. What are you talking about? What do you mean it doesn't work? Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't get the consequences of being raped because you got out of the fucking situation. So yeah, obviously it has like a higher predicted utility to get away from like from Mr. Rape. Lying that you were smoking that blunt in the middle school bathroom is 100% utility maximizing. Exactly. That's my point. Puberty blockers don't make you sterile. HRT can make you infertile, but puberty blockers do what is in the name, block puberty. Once puberty blockers are stopped, then puberty begins. No, literally. That's my point. That's my exact fucking argument. Be right back. All right, strike ears. I hope to see you back soon. Please, my sexy soft teddy bear, throw your long hair over your face and say my big teddy bear with a sexy hair flip, darling. My sexy soft teddy bear. I dreamed about you. I'm glad to see it. We've got Eric, completely engaged with the conversation today. I'd be curious to know what type of upbringing you had, though. What does that have to do with anything? Ugh, this is impossible. Everything is being read in a disgustive order. What does that have to do with the logical arguments that I'm making? Like, hello? Like, I don't think you've provided a single counter argument for anything I've said. Perspective of your argument? What? What about it? What does that have to do with the upbringing I had? What does that have to do with the logic and reasoning? Sorry, is what I meant to say. Like, if it's the case that I have one upbringing A or upbringing B, what does that have to do with the logical consistency of what I believe? It is irrelevant. It has no bearing on that whatsoever. No, I haven't. Like I said, I just joined and was trying to catch up. Fair enough. It sounded like you were like trying to like make an argument, but also hello, just some dude. I think it's VC time. Maybe soon. It has to do with your logic and reasoning fully. No, it literally doesn't. Like, if, let's say, for instance, I don't know, like, I have a good upbringing that has no fucking bearing on the logic and reasoning of my argument, as opposed to, in actuality, maybe I don't have the best upbringing. I don't have a childhood. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the logic and reasoning of what I am saying? Right? I could have had the best upbringing ever and been spoiled, or I could have been fucking raped 20 times and either way, it has no bearing on the arguments that I'm making. Obviously, your outlook on lying and truth is far different from mine. I don't really think it is. I think you're just like inarticulate and you don't understand what I'm articulating. It's obviously the case that you agree that there are many instances in which it is justifiable to lie. Right? Because lying in of itself is not a moral wrongdoing. It's just generally the case that it is, but not always. Right? So I wouldn't make a blanket statement saying that it's wrong. Hey Femi, you're looking super cute today. Thank you, Novus. I really appreciate that. Jeb, do you think that rape is a consequence? That's what you're making it sound like. Well, I guess like maybe what Jeb is trying to say is like it's like it is like an outcome that happens under a certain set of circumstances, not that it's like a consequence that ought occur. I think he means consequence in like the sense that like this is the outcome that would happen, not that that's like a good thing or that it ought happen. Does that make sense? So I'm not gonna like argue that in bad faith. You don't think it has anything to do with your child? Well, yeah, we're all going to be a product of our environment. What does that have to do with the argument that I'm making? Like, how does that change the logic and reasoning of anything that I'm saying? Yeah, sure, maybe if I had a different upbringing, I'd not be able to make logical arguments the way that I do. What about it? That doesn't change the argument at hand. Nothing about my argument or my style of argumentation is going to suddenly change if you know what my childhood is like. And trying to like make it like a personal thing doesn't do anything because I'm purely divorcing my logic and reasoning from that. Like, I don't think you understand how I think at all. I mean, you're looking extra bottomy tonight? No, I'm not. Not cut your dit off. If you cut your dit off, you will lose mate pool. Damn, okay. Me always looking cute. My sexy soft teddy bear. Are we still in love together? Yes, Eric Vandenborn. Big teddy bear. Of course we are. I returned with hydration and a heartburn pill. Good shit, good shit. Anyways. The thirst comments are crazy. Nah. We do get thirsty people in the comments. I love how you're ignoring the question. What was the question? Oh, sorry. The thing that nobody was talking about. You know, since nobody's responding to the thing we were actually talking about, sure. So is it a mental disorder to be trans? No. Being trans is not the same thing as gender dysphoria, right? Like if that was the case, then somebody that transitions and then no longer has dysphoria would no longer be trans. That doesn't make any fucking sense. If you're, quote, diagnosed with body dysphoria, well, that's not the diagnosis. It would be gender dysphoria. It would be a mental disorder, agree? Is it classified as a mental disorder? So I don't think a disorder is the same thing as an illness. What is gender dysphoria classified as in the DSM-5? I think it's a disorder. In the DSM-5, gender dysphoria is classified as a condition characterized by clinically significant distress or impairment arising from a marked incongruence between one's experienced / expressed gender and their assigned gender. Blah, blah, blah. So it's basically distress that's caused by incongruence. I'm trying to see, like, disorder or illness. Okay, it's classified as a disorder. Which I figured was the case. Anyways. But how, if you have to be diagnosed with a doctor with that disorder, how is it not a mental illness? What? Getting diagnosed with gender dysphoria is not a necessary prerequisite of being trans. Like, that's not what that means. Like, it's not like a... Like, even if it was the case that all trans people have dysphoria, let's say, it's not going to be the case that, like, you're not trans until you get diagnosed, firstly. And secondly, if it's the case that you transition and no longer have dysphoria, then you wouldn't have any mental disorder there. The disorder would be cured, essentially. So it doesn't make any sense to classify all trans people as having some sort of mental disorder or illness. First of all, it's not even classified as a mental illness in the DSM-5. It's classified as a disorder, firstly. And secondly, it's going to be the case that it's not like a fundamental property of being trans, right? In order for you to claim that these are the same thing and use them interchangeably, it would necessarily have to be the case that all trans people experience some level of dysphoria, which isn't true. Now, maybe, like, again, like maybe in the example I brought up, like you could argue, well, they experienced it, but they don't currently experience it, so would they no longer have the disorder? Like, what? How does that work? How does that work in your view? I'm actually just curious. Is euphoria a mental illness? Lol, nothing to do with the topic. No, it would not be. OMG, yeah, I made it. Why, hello. Can gender dysphoria be cured? I thought disorders can't be cured but treated. Maybe cured is the wrong word. I guess treated. But I don't know. It's hard to say because if it's the case that somebody has dysphoria before they transition, but they no longer have dysphoria after like 10 years of HRT, then like, I don't know. Like they would still have the diagnosis, but they would receive the treatment. I guess they don't stop receiving treatment. You'll always need like hormone therapy and whatnot. Like you always need to be on HRT for the rest of your life. So I guess like I guess it'd be like similar to like having like I don't know. Like you could make a parallel to like depression where it's like let's say you just have like clinical depression and it's like purely like a chemical imbalance in your brain or whatever. And the only way to fix it is to take like a specific medication, and then you take that for the rest of your life and you no longer have depression, right? Maybe you can make like a comparison to that. Dysmorphia and dysphoria are two different things. This is true. Check out the video debunking transphobia if you want more information. TPH, wait, is it a, what's his face? He's like a guy who debunks flat earthers. Professor Dave. Is it a Professor Dave video? That sounds like a Professor Dave video. I love Professor Dave. He's awesome. I haven't watched him in a while though. He's also like really, like he's unironically like really funny. Like he's incredibly intelligent and funny and rhetorically effective. He's like everything that I fucking wish that I was in terms of my rhetoric. Dysphoria is a mental illness? No, it's a disorder. You're just like wrong about that. Like you can Google, are mental illnesses and disorders the same? Pretty sure they're not. They're generally considered interchangeably. Oh, actually, ChatGPT is saying yes. Okay. Pretty sure. I thought they were different. No, they have to be different because like it's like it would be like you wouldn't call autism spectrum disorder a mental illness, right? Yeah, they would have to be different. Like nobody says that autism is a mental illness, right? Or like ADHD, right? So if I search, is ADHD a mental illness? Like it says disorder, right? It doesn't say illness. So this is saying, okay, so Cleveland Clinic says that it's a developmental disability. So it's not saying it's either. It says chronic and debilitating disorder. But it doesn't say illness. So I'm not really getting... It's a neurodevelopmental disorder. So... I don't know. Is there a way to search it without like AI? I wouldn't argue the semantics. No, I think it's interesting. I just want to like make sure I'm using like the correct terminology. Yeah, because if disorder and illness were interchangeable, then ADHD would have to be a mental illness and autism would have to be a mental illness. And nobody would agree with that. Nobody says that autism is a mental illness. Autism is curable? That's not true. I wish it was. I can say they're both totally different IMO. As an owner of both depression and gender dysphoria. But gender dysphoria makes my depression worse. That's fair, though you could also argue like, well, they're both mental illnesses, but different mental illnesses are very different from each other, right? Oh, okay, add minus AI, okay, or dash AI. Are illnesses, disorders the same? And then what would we do? Hold on, let me and then dash AI. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. So, okay, so here's the first actual source. These very terms might have different levels of inclusiveness as well. Mental illness might refer to a narrower class of phenomenon than mental disorder. Okay. Because its medical connotation might lead people to use it only in reference to conditions believed to have primarily biogenetic causes. Interesting. So is it the case that like all mental illnesses are mental disorders, but not the other way around? So it's like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares type of logic? If that's the case, then that would make sense. Because like I would argue that like depression is like a mental illness and a disorder, right? But that like autism is like a disorder but not an illness, right? I feel like that would make the most sense. I don't think about it too hard. Mental illnesses are equivalent to health illnesses, which can both be treated and made better. Yeah. Not every trans person experiences dysphoria, also due to certain regulations. Everywhere. Many people are forced into stating that they have outdated side effects of gender dysphoria just to access HRT. Yeah, which doesn't surprise me. So, yeah. Hello, Femboy Stormtrooper. Good to see you again. So it's saying all mental illnesses are disorders, but not vice versa? Yeah, exactly. I think that that's where the confusion comes from. Like, not all disorders are illnesses, but all mental illnesses are disorders. I guess mental illnesses are just irrational preferences that generally harm you or society, while disorders are just a type of condition that affects your behavior / way of thinking. I think so. That could be, I think generally that's going to be the case. But I don't know if that's the defining characteristic. Normally putting a cuss word stops the AI answers from showing lol. Oh, damn. I think the basic definition of a mental illness is just a consistent set of symptoms that cause adverse effects, which means disorders may be mental illnesses from person to person. Interesting. So it's going to be the case that like certain disorders can cause illnesses, but it's not the illness itself. So that would be like 2 degrees of separation from actually just like being trans, right? So it'd be like dysphoria as a result of being trans, which is a disorder, and as a result of that disorder, you might have like a mental illness like depression. So that's like 2 degrees of separation, right? So to claim that like mental illness is like an intrinsic property of being trans is just logically fallacious. I've experienced bipolar, depression, OCD, and migraines. I don't have the first 2, and honestly, I believe anxiety can fool some people into believing it's schizophrenia, especially if they have an active imagination. That's actually really interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty imaginative / creative, but I don't think I'm creative enough to conflate my anxiety with schizophrenia. I'm like fairly grounded when it comes to what I'm anxious about, I feel. Then again, I feel like everyone with anxiety is going to feel that it's like grounded in some sort of reality, even if it's not. As a professional psychiatrist, I can confirm that all dogs are good boys. We don't even need a professional psychiatrist to confirm that. We already know. I mean, come on. Oh, no, yeah, I'm just ADHD. Yeah, fair. Either way. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I really need to pee. So, I'm gonna play the Charlie Kirk diss track while I go pee. So, yeah. So let me search my own channel. All right, it's called Kirk down. Official audio. All right. Oh, that's like a bit loud. I'm gonna turn that down for a sec. Okay. At least on my end it was loud is what I meant. I don't know if it'll be different for you. I actually have no idea. Anyways, be right back. I need to pee.
Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out, ready. Charlie Kirk went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred's bed shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, man down on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert red, your rhetoric fast, you to your deathbed. Defiance doesn't exist, released by Netanyahu, cause he a fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, hated trannies and fags like a skinhead. Targeting jobs is some pussy shit, you were against that before. There's no need to backtrack, the left's not your enemy, just people like me. Man, yo shit is so out of whack. The ops will overreact and attack while I smoke on this Charlie Kirk pack. If you're conservative, you should be euthanized. Come to my house and I'll chop off your ball sack. This bitch is so whack, retarded and wants to carry his legacy of shilling for APAC. Her face is fatter than jobs, the gross doesn't mean when your house is made out of glass. I hate to be crass, but Charlie Kirk's neck is someone more fucked up than data boss Nass. His neck took a bullet so hard it was just like the Zionist that was far up his ass. Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out, ready. Charlie went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred's bed shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, man down on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert in red, your rhetoric fast, you to your deathbed. Defiance doesn't exist, released by Netanyahu, cause he a fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, he hated trannies and fags like a skinhead.
Well, that was near perfect timing. Oh. You made this? Yes, I did. All by myself, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I need to stretch. What would Femyo's rap name be? Lil Femyoz, Lil Yos? I don't know, man. Lil Yos, maybe? DJ Femi. Why am I laughing? Because I had some funny-ass bars. Give us a spin? Yeah, sure, why not? I'll do that, just for use into queer. Why not? Just because we got $20 there, so I could do at least one. On that behalf. Yeah, why not? Little? Oh god. Oh no. I'm built like a rectangle, I know. But it is what it is, I can't help it. I wish my ribcage was smaller. Oh well. Anyways. That's my fit. Cute. Why, thank you. You look adorable. Thank you. Guess who's back? Is it you, Jade? Hello, welcome back. Lil Mayo. Laughing at murder is wrong. Bro, are you gonna be the joke police? Wee woo, the fun police are here. The fun police are here. You're not allowed to laugh at that hilarious joke. That's off limits. That should be illegal. Alright, comedy was only legal on Twitter for 6 months. Alright, now it's illegal. You're not allowed to anymore. You're too cute. Thank you, Trash Oracle Studios. Very much appreciated. Your ribcage is fine as it is, you stinker? Nuh-uh. Surely there's rib reduction surgery? I really hope so. I feel like it is wrong. Morally wrong. Dude, it's morally wrong to have fun, guys. We're not allowed to do that. Fun is bad. Alright. Yaha, you look cutesy. Nuh-uh. Not true. I would never look cutesy. That would be insane. That would be insane-o. Yeah, when it comes to murder, Lamau, you're wrong for that. Well, I don't know. Like, is it wrong when people make George Floyd jokes? Because I don't think it's wrong. I think George Floyd jokes are funny, and I think that Charlie Kirk jokes are even funnier because it's even more edgy. I think that like the edgier the joke is, the better sometimes. Morally wrong. What a bunch of pearl clutching garbage. Nah, for real. These people are pussies. These people are pussy. Oh, also, Mel, if you want to join the Discord, actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start linking it in the stream chat. Give me a sec. Yes, I agree. You should join. If you're someone that is... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like a vetting process. All right. We're going to have newcomers VCs where we let all the new fags VC with the rest of us. And long story short, oh wow, we've already got a community VC going. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, server tags expire? Wait, what? Expires 9/29? What? Why? That's such bullshit. The server needs 2 more boosts to keep these perks. Server tag? What the fuck? Well, tomorrow what I'm going to do on the 28th is disable the get 3 boosts back and then reconfigure it. That's some bullshit. Our Discord won't get infested. We have like a whatchamacallit. We have a vetting process. So there's like a newcomers chat where that's like what you're only allowed to access by default. Let me see. Greed probably? No, literally, what the fuck? Okay, invite to server. Copy. Alright. I'm gonna paste this in the chat. So here's the link. If you're on mobile and can't click it, just screenshot it and type it in manually. I know that's annoying, but like, you'll figure it out. Anyways. George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose. Well, that's just not true. You're just like retarded if you think that. Wow, he magically died right after Copney was a thing. Right after he literally said, like, I can't fucking breathe. It was like he was being suffocated by Derek Chauvin's knee. You know, the guy that fucking murdered him. But the autopsy, like, did not say that he died from fentanyl. That's just, like, not true. Yeah, if that's the case, then Charlie Kirk died of lead poisoning. No, I think his neck just spontaneously did that. The bullets are fake. He died from fentanyl. Also, if it was the case that, like, Charlie Kirk died instead of getting killed, would it suddenly be okay to make jokes about him in your view? No, you obviously don't think that. So it doesn't matter. So even if you believe that George Floyd, like, wasn't murdered or whatever, and it was actually he died from fentanyl, why would that be any less tragic in your view? Like, do you think that people that are addicted to drugs deserve to die? That's kind of fucked up. You deserve to die for being addicted to drugs. George Floyd had a fentanyl in his system, but it didn't kill him. Yeah, exactly my point. It's literally in the autopsy report. Lamau, he had tons of fentanyl in his system. Yeah, but it literally was not the fentanyl that killed him. We know that. My parents are addicted to drugs, so no? Well, then there you go. So, like, why is it okay to make George Floyd jokes but not Charlie Kirk jokes? That's true. Charlie Kirk's throat spontaneously combusted due to all the fentanyl that he was taking. And his neck just wasn't as strong as George Floyd's. You know, his neck just did that. You know, at least George Floyd's neck was able to last for, like, 7 or 8 minutes. That's true. The difference was that Charlie Kirk was vaxxed. True. I remember commenting when I saw it on Twitter. I like commented on like a tweet about Charlie Kirk dying, and I just said vaxxed. I think it got like 1 like. You don't have to VC, Mel. That's not. No, you know what? You're not required to do anything. It might help get into the server faster, like into like the main part of the server. But even just being active in newcomers chat can be enough. Yes, I'm Onyx. And if I recognize you from chat and like as a viewer, it won't take as long, just FYI. I was in the Discord group, but I didn't chat much, so I left. Fair. You're more than welcome to rejoin. I'll make it more obvious in my server display. Yeah, no worries. I would vouch for her. Bet. If you're vouching for... Okay, fair. If you vouch for somebody, then I will verify them. The difference is we never praised his death. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I saw a lot of people saying that George Floyd deserved it. Do I think that they should be deplatformed? No. Do I think that they should be made fun of? Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think that George Floyd deserved it. But I also think that George Floyd was a better person than Charlie Kirk. I think Charlie Kirk was fucking evil. How do I join the Discord? With this link. Alright. If you're on mobile, just screenshot it if you can't click it. And then you'll want to manually type out the URL. I'm sorry, I don't have a better way of doing that. Maybe I should go on, like, my YouTube and YouTube Studio. Thank you. It's gonna backfire on them. What, like the cancel culture bullshit? Yeah, hopefully. Recent activity, subscriber. Oh wow, so these are the most sub to YouTubers that have public subscriptions on that have subbed to me. I actually want to look at their channels. I gotta see. Don't add it to your YouTube banner. No. But again, like they would only have access to the newcomers section. So they'd get filtered out if they're annoying. Like anyone that's annoying, and keep in mind, people that are annoying won't be able to like, oh, I should probably enable slow mode in the newcomer chat as well. But they're also not able to like upload images or anything. So, and if like and it's not about like how long you're in there either. Because like you could, if you're like AFK or like offline and you never participate in that section, then you're never gonna get into the server unless somebody vouches for you. That wasn't on? No, I forgot to turn it on. I just realized. What is this? Yapping wild out chat. Okay, wait, who is this? And why are they subbed to me? Kamala Harris DNC support. Yo, let's go. Okay, so this guy voted correctly. Good shit, good shit. Young Charlie, something ain't adding up. Bro, what? Charlie Kirk gone too soon? Wait, why is this guy subbed to me if he's like... Joe Biden lied. Wait, what? Okay. Okay, I don't know why this... Anyways, I'm getting distracted. What I really needed to do is I'm going to use a temporary 7-day link. I'm going to put that in the About section. Add a link. Community. Oh, nope. Okay, we're going to try that again. And why is it like not text selecting every time? Oh my god, that's so weird. That's so fucking AIDS. You guys can't see what it's doing, but it's like making it take forever. Community. Oh my god, I have to like press it every time. What the fuck? Or there we go. And I can paste the URL. Publish. Actually, that'll be right below the Collins. Yeah. You guys ruined his memorial stuff. Who gives a fuck? Oh no, there's like some people that ruined his memorial stuff. I don't care. I didn't ruin it. It's not my problem. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I should have just typed in another program. That would have been faster, but I was being a stubborn bitch. You guys equals radical left? Ah, yeah, because you know, me and all the other radical leftists were personally involved in what exactly? Ruining his memorial stuff? Oh no. Look, if people were involved in that, I just don't care. Yeah, I missed the part where that's my problem. True. Have you seen the AI cringe posts from their own supporters? Oh yeah, where it's like... Yeah, it's like AI Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're talking about? It's like AI Charlie Kirk. And I think Studio's a bit bugged. I was doing that unhighlighting thing for me too. Oh, it was doing the unhighlighting thing for me too, so don't worry, it's not just a you issue. Yeah, that makes sense. The AI Kirk with Jesus? Oh my god, yeah. AI Jesus lifting Kirk into the heavens? Oh my god. That's so funny. Brock also got confused and then mocked Kirk. It was great. That sounds great. All the time I've seen Republicans make fun of death. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Too many? Yeah. You don't get to make fun of death while simultaneously being the most pro-death party imaginable. Like those are things that you gotta choose between them. All right, you gotta choose wisely. Anyways, I want to see. Okay, so this is somebody that I found because they're publicly subscribed to me, but like it looks like they might have posted cringe. So don't think posting cringe, you know, don't think being publicly subscribed to me stops me from making fun of you for posting cringe, okay? Because it's called Charlie Kirk gone too soon. I hope this is a joke. So right off the bat, it's dead air. Uh-huh. Great stuff. Wow, this is an awesome stream. Oh. What? Wow, this is some... Oh. This is some very riveting stuff. Wow. Serial killer fodder? Bro, what is happening? Okay, I guess he's driving around. Okay, I want to hear if he like rants about it. I'm like hoping for like a mental breakdown over Charlie Kirk dying or whatever. It sounds like an old man? Yeah, it does. Why does an old guy subscribe to me? Dude, I'd like to imagine that like this person is like an old guy that's like subscribed to me because he's like a chaser. But he's also like right wing. Yeah, it's literally just him driving. Dude, the title is Charlie Kirk gone too soon. Hashtag Charlie Kirk, and it's just him fucking driving around. Wait, if this is like a bit, that's actually pretty fucking funny. I mean, at least he uses a turn signal, right? Dude, is this the whole stream? Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know why you would do this.
Not quite.
Oh? Does he... What is he yapping about? It's just clickbait? It's Eric IRL? True.
Not quite. But something like that.
Wow. Riveting stuff.
I gotta go to the store and get me a couple of beers.
Wait, is this a bit? Is this a bit or an actual redneck? I can't tell. I can't tell if this is a joke or not.
But I know they definitely a foreigner travel. Safe travels. Oh, I drive safe. I got to worry about the rest of these idiots.
What? The rest of
A
what
lot
idiots?
of them don't know how to drive. I don't even know how they got their license.
Yeah, people do be bad at driving. You're not wrong. A couple of
They
beers.
just give away license now.
Nah, that sounds too natural. You got a point. Oh, kids these days with their licenses, getting them for free. Like, he wasn't fucking speeding and breaking all the traffic laws when he was our age. Like, okay.
They just giving away license. I was hoping you came here to talk about Charlie Kirk, but you don't even know who Charlie Kirk is.
Well, then
Don't even
what?
know who he is. What
You know,
is that?
you got a point. You got a point. A lot of people didn't know who he is.
You throwing up gang signs? What is
How are we pro-death when you guys are pro-killing babies? What, by babies, do you mean like a clump of cells? Sorry, I don't have the same definition of baby as you. Like, pro-killing of non-sentient life forms when it's to the benefit of actual sentient human beings and, you know, people that are actually worth moral consideration and beneficial to society. Yeah, of course I'm going to be in favor of that.
that?
We are all a clump of cells. I said non-sentient clump of cells. If you were paying attention, you would know that. If we're talking about like a non-sentient clump of cells, you know, the thing that exists at conception, then like I don't know why the fuck you would defend its right to exist. Non-sentient life forms do not warrant rights. The same reason that, you know, despite the fact that it's living, we don't give bacteria moral consideration when we wash our hands. Why? Because it benefits us. It benefits us and our lives to wash our hands, even if it kills bacteria. Yeah, but my clump of cells is bigger. True.
What is that? You know,
I have the biggest 8-inch clump of cells
I
ever.
don't go live much.
My mommy says I'm very, very sentient. True. A baby in the womb has human rights. If it's not sentient, why would it have rights? Like, you're saying it does, but like, why? Like, what's your justification for it? You're just like begging the question. I clump on my cells until I abortion. Or sorry, she clump on my cells until I abortion type shit. Gone too soon to me is layman and has lost meaning because everyone that passes away young is gone too soon, and to say too soon feels like an unknown foreshadowing which isn't even just is. Yes, I'm very, very above average actually.
Please do not spam the chat now.
Yeah, for the 2 people in chat, don't spam. You guys just dehumanize a baby. What do you mean by dehumanize a baby? What do you mean by baby? Why is it the case that, first of all, why do you believe that humans are worth moral consideration in the first place? Like, for instance, if there was like a brain dead person or whatever, like if there's someone that's like brain dead, meaning that they're never gonna have like a sentient experience ever again. They're never gonna experience quality. The only thing that's keeping them alive is like the fucking machines that they're attached to. You know, not too dissimilar from a non-sentient fetus that entirely relies on being in the womb to survive, right? What is the fundamental distinction there? Why is that different? Why is it the case that we're allowed to, get rid of brain dead humans? You know, those are just as human as a non-sentient fetus, right? Those are equally human. Why is it wrong in one case but not the other? That is human value. Human value according to what standard? What is the definition of a fetus? I asked you a question, I'd like you to answer it. Instead of asking me a dumb fuck irrelevant question, why don't you give me a response to the question I asked? A fetus definitionally is going to be non-sentient for the first at least 26 weeks of a pregnancy. I think that it's like 24 or 26 is like the most conservative estimate. Right? That's like the most conservative estimate. So within the first, let's say 24 weeks, let's play it safe, say 24 weeks, we know for a fact they're not sentient. Why do they warrant moral consideration? Banning abortion leads to more women dying in labor. True. I'm pro-life and pro-choice. Yeah, exactly. Look, keep in mind that when people are advocating in favor of pro-choice, like they're not saying that like you should be able to get an abortion like 3 seconds before the baby pops out the pussy, right? I hope Nikki is rage baiting. I mean, if that's the case, it doesn't really work. I mean, I guess he gets attention out of it, but like, I don't think anybody is raging. It's just like, oh wow, that's like a really bad argument. Where wow, you're like not responding to the question I asked.
Look at that gas. Why? When she look nasty like that, man? What is it? Did it rain or something?
What is he yapping about? What is happening?
Why did she look like somebody spit on that bitch? Why did she look like somebody spit on that bitch?
Fuck Tua, spit on that thing.
Hot tool on that junk.
Wait, he actually made the joke. Okay, so this is, I think this guy's rage baiting. Wait. This could be like a rage baiter. But I actually support this guy now. Yeah, Hawk Tua, you know what I'm saying? Bro, the way that I made the joke, thinking it's like an old person, and then he made the joke, priceless. And we were all thinking it.
We're gonna get rid of this cook.
You know what? This is the only redneck that I support because he's very cultured and supports Hawk Tua and probably much like me also invested in Hawk Tua coin, the greatest cryptocurrency of all time.
This later. I already know what time it is.
A baby fights in the womb? What? It is a baby at conception. What do you mean by fight? Like what? Like a fucking mosquito fights. Insects fight each other. They're not sentient though. We don't grant them moral consideration on the basis of whether or not they can fight. You wouldn't say this about an insect, which is just as sentient. Fucking idiot.
Hold tight. I'll be right back. But if not, I appreciate you stopping by.
I'm glad he
and I hope you
appreciates it.
enjoyed your ride at King's Dominion.
I sure did. It's like, wow, the non-sentient life form, biologically responds to stimuli the way that many non-sentient life forms do. Bacteria also responds to stimuli and fights to exist and replicate itself. That doesn't mean that we grant it moral consideration. So maybe actually respond to the argument that I made and the question I asked without pretending like I didn't make the argument that would address your point already. Try to keep up. An insect is not a human baby. Again, I asked you, why are humans worth moral consideration? Because I would agree that most humans are worth moral consideration. Or like the majority, I mean, right? But I don't say all humans are worth moral consideration. I just say that the ones that are sentient are worth moral consideration. The ones that actually have the capacity for sentience. Anyways. Wait, I have heard insects have sentience. I think some of them do. I think that it's the case that, or some of them might. I'm not sure. I don't think that the science is settled on that. I know that some most likely aren't and some most likely are. When I understand, I think that bees are like somewhat sentient at the very least, right? But I guarantee you that Nikki wouldn't be morally outraged if somebody killed a fucking bee. Now, I'd say it's preferable to not kill the bee, but Anyways, every human has moral value, and how are you deciding that? Every human has a place in the world, even a brain-dead human. Every human has a place in this world. Every human has a right to live. Okay, what about a brain-dead person? Does somebody that's brain-dead, that never has the capacity to think a single thought or experience anything ever again, they never have any conscious experiences ever again, do you think that that person, has the right to live? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Would it be immoral to pull the plug on that? I want you to answer the question instead of just saying like a bunch of irrelevant shit that doesn't address anything that I said. Or answer any of the previous questions I asked you that you haven't answered. You can answer any of them. Jeffrey Dahmer had no moral value? True. I tried to share a YouTube clip on the stream, but I don't think the chat went through. RAP. Oh, yeah. Mind you, it's going to be the case that links are always going to be blocked in chat. Unless it's a mod or me. we should be allowed to eat brain dead people. So true. So true. How do Democrats resort to hate speech? The question is why? What? Well, like, what the fuck do we mean by when we say hate speech? Hell, I've always been like very iffy about hate speech laws. Just because they can be kind of ambiguous. Like, for instance, if somebody says that they, I don't know, like, that they are against trans rights, I think that they're very hateful. I don't think they should go to prison for it. It's a developing human. We are all developing every day. That's not a response to the question I asked. You like respond to my question? Like you said that like all humans have value. I asked you, do you believe a brain dead person, a brain dead human, has moral value? So I want like a yes or a no. And if the answer is no, I want you to tell me why. I want you to tell me why that's different. Also, I love how I don't even have this paused. I guess this guy's being arrested, maybe? I don't know, dude. Police are after him. Got real quiet. Oh, he was getting food. Well, I see. I'd let you eat me? I see. I mean, your name is Cookielicious, so it makes sense. Anyways, a brain dead person has had a moral value before they were brain dead. A baby isn't brain dead, right? So, like, again, like this distinction. So I actually didn't see that you responded. So that your answer is no, they don't warrant moral consideration. That's your response, right? But again, I'm aware that the brain dead person is brain dead, but I'm asking you to establish the symmetry breaker, right? So I want you to explain why. I didn't read that chat message, but I meant to clarify. You have to establish the symmetry breaker. Like they had moral value before. Why did they stop having moral value? So if let me get this straight. So something can have moral value and then stop having moral value, correct? Why doesn't it work in the opposite direction? Why doesn't something that has no moral value have the capacity to become something that has moral value? Why must it start out with moral value and then stop having moral value? Like, why is that a necessary prerequisite? Right? Why doesn't the brain dead person have value? Like you're saying, well, it's because they're brain dead. It's like, well, yeah, we already established they're brain dead, but like, why? Like, what's the symmetry breaker? Like, yeah, a baby isn't brain dead, but by baby, if you mean like non-sentient fetus, because that's what you actually mean. So maybe, actually engage with what I'm saying. We're not talking about, babies that have been born that are sentient. We're talking about non-sentient life forms, right? Those are not the same thing as like babies is like a category, right? So if we're talking about non-sentient fetuses, okay, what's the difference? Because they may as well be brain dead, because like in terms of their experiences, their capacity to think, etc., they are brain dead, right? Now I guess you could say, oh, well, the difference is that they're going to become not brain dead, right? But then this gets into a potentiality argument, and by that logic, you could make the argument that masturbating is murder because you're murdering the sperm cells, instead of collecting them and impregnating women with them, right? You're murdering the human brain cells. They're human, which means that they're worth moral consideration, according to that. Because it doesn't matter if they're sentient to you, because it has the capacity to become sentient. I'm sitting outside a boba tea store that I stole the Wi-Fi password from, watching a trans girl watch a random dude drive while clickbaiting Charlie Kirk's death and also debating abortion. This is a vibe. True. By the way, newcomers VC chat has incorrect permissions. Newcomers can't talk there unless they need to join to talk. Oh, you're right. I messed that. Or I think... No, I think that actually wasn't me that messed it up. I was, I think I was, Finn, I think was the admin that set it up, but obviously he didn't know. So view messages, send messages, and we're also going to want to include read message history. Okay. They have the permission to view it. Okay, I just think that he messed up the permissions. Okay, there we go. There we go. Wanted to report that for you? Well, thank you. Glad you told me about it. Glad you told me about it. I'd be very sad if you didn't. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna like my own stream. I forgot to do that. I have 105. Yo, thank you for 100 likes, everybody. We're gonna keep going, of course. We're gonna go to the 3-hour mark, and then we're gonna restart stream, I think. A baby has a heartbeat? Yeah, why does that matter? A lot of creatures have heartbeats. What does that have to do with anything? Why does a heartbeat grant moral consideration? A baby has brain waves at 6 weeks. A brain dead person has no brain waves? Well, okay. What does the brain waves have to do with anything? Like if a creature is non-sentient, why does it warrant moral consideration? You just still haven't answered that. You're saying, but like here are like these things that are technically different. It's like, yeah, but like why is that relevant? Like, what is the meaningful distinction there, right? If I ask for a meaningful distinction, like, I'm not asking you for like, well, these are technically different because of this non-meaningful distinction. It's like, yeah, that is a distinction that can be made. It's just not a meaningful one.
Hey, you sitting over there. Better get up out of your chair.
Of course. You gotta get up out of your chair, chat. The entire Republican Party should not be held accountable for others' actions. The entire Democratic Party should not be held accountable for others' actions. Bad apples. No, literally. I think the Republican Party should be held accountable for other things. Like, I don't know, like supporting J6, but, you know, we're gonna obviously, you know, disagree with conservatives there. It is meaningful. It's a living conscious baby at 6 weeks. No, that's just like not true. You're just like scientifically incorrect. Like factually and scientifically, it's just like not true. So if I literally Google right now, how many weeks before a fetus is sentient? Hold on. I gotta do -AI. All right. Good stuff. So this is saying that, some are adamant, I don't know what this is. Project Muse article? Some are adamant that fetal sentience prior to 24 weeks is impossible. Other researchers do not rule it out, I guess. The emergence of consciousness. Newborns are minimally conscious, aware of their body and some of the outside world. Consciousness likely cannot emerge before 24 gestational weeks. So 24 weeks. So this is 1992. And it says, so back then it was the earliest possible stage for sentience is 18 to 25 weeks. But 30 weeks is more plausible as the lower boundary. So it's most likely the case that it's 30 weeks and 24 is playing it safe. So it's saying after 24 weeks of gestation, they continue to grow in the late fetal period. So early preterm phase, 24 to 28 weeks, right? The necessary circuitry for consciousness to begin, or for consciousness begins between 24 and 28 weeks gestation. So, I don't know where you're getting 6 weeks from, but you're just like wrong about that. If you don't want a baby, don't have sex. Bro, like imagine being a fucking sexless loser. Like unless you're asexual, in which case valid. But imagine choosing to be a sexless fucking loser. All because what? You're worried about like, oh no. But like, what about abortion? That's like bad and stuff. That's like murder. Murder of what? A non-sentient life form? Who fucking cares? Who gives a fuck? What about Sagax? True. Just have Sagax. You guys are literally excusing the murder of a baby. Like, okay, dude. You're actually brain dead. Either way, there's no reason why a life form would warrant moral consideration if they're not conscious. If you agree it's the case that a human doesn't warrant moral consideration if they're brain dead, then why is it the case that fetuses do? And again, you said at 6 weeks they experience consciousness, but that's not true. We proved that wrong. The minimum, the bare fucking minimum is 24 weeks. So you should at least be okay. If it's the case that you're against, or sorry, if you're not against killing a brain dead person, if you're okay with that, if you're okay with terminating the life of a brain dead human, you logically would also have to be okay with terminating the life of a non-sentient fetus. These are categorically no different. These are fundamentally the same thing, morally speaking. You cannot be in favor of one but not the other, unless you want to be logically inconsistent. Brainwaves in a Heartbeat is there at 6 weeks. We literally just went over many different sources that all said the same fucking thing and used the scientific method in many different ways to arrive at the same fucking conclusion, which is that a minimum of 24 to 28 weeks is what is required in order for it to even have the possibility of being conscious. So you are wrong about that. If all of the scientific evidence says exactly the same thing, do you think that you know better than all of the scientific evidence that I showed on stream, and that you are smarter than all of the neuroscientists that disagree with you? Or is it the case that you don't think that, and you're not fucking delusional, and you're willing to concede the point and say, actually, no, it's not 6 weeks, it is 24 weeks.
Charlie Kirk was a great man.
This has to be rage bait.
They went ahead and deleted the dude. Like, wow.
They deleted him. Very fucked up. I can't believe they unalived him. Dude, the fucking TikTok speak is crazy.
People just mad. People mad because Charlie Kirk was smarter than him.
That's so true. That's exactly why people were mad. It had nothing to do with the things that he advocated for and against. You know, it had nothing to do with him literally saying that all trans people should be forced to detransition and shouldn't have access to gender-affirming care, including trans adults, because he's against people having basic human rights. He's against bodily autonomy. He even said himself that, again, if his own daughter were to get raped at the age of 9 years old, that he would force her to carry the pregnancy to term.
That's what that was.
But it's a baby. Do you remember being 1 week old? What? Nobody is saying that the standard for consciousness is whether or not you remember something. The scientific consensus is literally that they do not have the capacity to experience any amount of consciousness before 24 to 28 weeks. It is quite literally impossible for them to. Therefore, they are not conscious. You are just wrong. Yes, I can't believe they unalived him with a big ranged pew-pew.
They felt intellectually inferior to Charlie Kirk.
I can assure you that I have always felt intellectually superior to him. Thank you very much. But, I digress. I don't even have to pause, because he just has dead air naturally. It's crazy.
Ain't nothing even back there.
And then he goes on a side tangent about a bunch of irrelevant shit. I wonder why his shit got, oh wow, 14 views. That's like less total views than concurrence I have. That's pretty bad. Look, I'm not like a person that like, you know, is like gonna shit on somebody too hard for like not having the numbers, but like, I mean, come on, put a little bit of effort. Just like a little bit. Wow, this is riveting stuff.
What are we doing?
I have 25 right now. Yeah, which isn't very many. Like, this is way less than average. To be fair, it's late. It's 1 in the morning, but, you know. That's a good question. What are we doing? This is very schizophrenic. This is like a very
Charlie
mentally ill
Kirk
individual, or it's a bit.
left behind a wife and 2 children.
Yeah, everyone has a family, dipshit. Yeah, Hitler also had a family. What about
That
it?
is sad.
Oh, so sad. Truly devastating.
All
They had a
because you
family
don't
like
like
everyone
what
else.
the man say. That's
Charlie
sad.
Kirk did get bitched by physiologically twink-built TikTokers. True.
If you don't
Like
like
imagine like getting destroyed by twinks. Parentheses in a debate.
it, don't listen. That's how that works.
C: and D: are the comedy and tragedy masks for the X3 Aurora generation. True. See my previous message about sitting outside a boba tea shop? I think I read that one out loud. The one about how like you stole the Wi-Fi password and whatnot, and you're like, I think I read that one. Yeah, I know I read that for sure. Unless you wrote another one, but I read that out loud.
What the hell is that song?
What the hell was that song? Dude, me when I'm a Charlie Kirk fan and I'm extremely illiterate, and I just like to the point where I think that Charlie Kirk is an intelligent human, despite not being one, obviously.
Damn, we only had 1 vote. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Wow. I mean, yeah, I could see why a live stream like this would not get many viewers. It's not just the YouTube algorithm sucking. I mean, granted, the YouTube algorithm does suck, but usually you'll at least get some amount of traction at the beginning of a stream. But you know, like imagine watching this without my commentary. Like, would you watch this without my commentary? Fuck no. Like, be honest, chat. Would you watch this live stream if it was just this guy driving in his car and I wasn't giving my commentary and saying shit?
But I can't see my windshield, but that phone picked
If you can't see out of your windshield, then like, you need to stop driving.
it up all kinds of.
I'd watch it as crazy. Autoplay when I slept? That doesn't count. Nah. We were all babies. It's all just a stage of development. Yeah, we were all like sperm that was separate from the egg at one point. Is it wrong to masturbate?
What?
Why do you think if you murder a pregnant woman, it's double homicide? Because the laws are fucking retarded. Do you think that legality equates to morality? That's fucking stupid. Yeah, I disagree with that law. I don't think it should be double homicide. I think that's absurd. Anyways. Yeah, good question from Rich Chiga, saying, if your dad pulled out, resulting in you never being born, would that have been immoral? Yeah, exactly, because that leads to the same outcome. Like, he would have to say yes to be consistent, but he won't. You're even? Oh, I'm evil for that. Okay. I'm evil for being logically consistent in my worldview? More so than you? Okay. Apparently it's evil to say that, like, yeah, I don't think it makes a difference if she's pregnant or not. Also, like, it depends on if it's, like, before or after 24 weeks. Like, how pregnant is she? Like, I believe, like, if it's the case that, like, the baby's about to pop out the pussy, then yeah, sure, make it a double homicide. But if it's within the first 24 weeks of pregnancy, I don't think that it should be a double homicide. That doesn't make any sense. No, because it takes a fertilized egg too. Well, yeah, you were both of those things independent of each other. That was you. That was you at one point. Is those two things separately? So, can you explain what the difference in outcome of, I don't know, your dad pulling out versus your dad not pulling out and your mom gets an abortion a week later? Like, can you explain the difference in outcomes? Oh wait, you can't because there is none. The outcome is the same. No sentient life forms were killed, right? So unless you want to advocate for bacterial rights and say, well, non-sentient life forms should have rights too, then you can't really make a very good argument.
It's all gravy.
Anyways, let's see. What is?
Behind a wife, a fine wife too. That's crazy.
I am sorry, but Charlie Kirk's wife is fucking ugly, and I'm not one to, be super mean about people's looks. I know I'm not the fishiest fish in the sea. It is what it is. Let's see. Charlie Kirk wife. And she's like fat and weird looking. Like I literally, like one of the lines in my diss track is about Charlie Kirk's wife and how her face is fatter than Jabba's. Because it is. It's like factually correct. Like, I'm sorry, that is... It's like girl defines ant with Down syndrome. Like, that is a scary looking individual. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact. Her chin is strong. Yeah, she looks more transgender than me. It's crazy. Very crazy. Very crazy how clocky these ghouls tend to be. Oh, wow. Ooh. Oh, that is an ugly couple. Oh. Ugh. They are both so ugly. Yikes. Wow. Genuinely fucking repulsive. Horrifying to look at, even. Let's see. Let's see. Do we have more? Where it's like easy to see. Her mic is like covering her face. And she's like angle frauding there. Hold on. We need more where she's like not angle frauding. Oh, that's when they got married. Oh, I want to see her fat face. Hold on. I think this is like a screenshot from a video, but you can't really see it very well. Like even if I do this, it's like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Very chopped individual. Very fucking chopped. But, you know, in terms of physical appearance, it's like they're made for each other. They're like about as ugly as each other, I think. No, I think Charlie Kirk is uglier, but still. Her hair is good. Yeah, I guess her hair is fine. Well, her hair is not terrible, I guess. Anyways.
Living a good
Anyways.
life.
Femyoz, you literally are the fishiest fish in the sea. What are you on about? Nah, not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. I feel like if I got like a... Okay, hear me out. If I got like a light FFS, but like with like a rhinoplasty, I think that I would look really fucking good. It's not as easy to see at this angle, but like if you look here, right? Like I got a little bit of a side profile going on, you know? So like if you look, you'll see I got a massive schnoz, you know? And I'm a woman, okay? So it is my constitutional right as a woman to be insecure about that. That's right. I don't know if I'm insecure. It's more like a preference. I would prefer to not have it. Okay, you already look really fucking good. I think you guys are glazing. It's really not that big. You guys are just saying. You're hug boxing. You're hug boxing. I think Nikki got laughed at the stream. True. Straight up, you're the prettiest trans girl I've ever seen. Shut the fuck up. I will say, one thing I have going for me is I don't have much of a brow bone. So the lack of brow bone is like a nice feature for me to have. My nose, I think, is the most masculine, and you can't really see it unless it's like in different lighting. But like this right here, like this sort of area of my nose is like almost flat because I think from 2 years of HRT, my nose is a lot different from what it used to be because of the fat redistribution. You would think that HRT wouldn't change the shape of your nose, but that's not true. My nose used to be fatter. It used to have more fat around it. But the issue is that every aspect of my nose shrank, except for the cartilage. So you end up with like almost like a flat part right here where the cartilage is. That's preventing keeps the skin pushed out. Obviously, it almost like creates like almost like a flat surface right here. Right. And it definitely is something that bothers me because I notice it, right? I don't know how to show it. Can you see it at this angle? I think you can. Yeah, I don't want to look like Voldemort, obviously. I am scared that they would do it wrong. So that's like the one thing that would, like that, and, you know, it costs money. Yes, I'm making a game about Cyrix for an upcoming game jam. Thoughts? I'd be down to play it. That sounds fun. Charlie had a terrifying moon face, yeah. Look, I know that people are saying I look really fucking good, but there's room for improvement. I don't look perfect by any means. Like, there are a lot of things that could be better, right? Now, granted, nobody is perfect, but there are things that can be improved upon, that I can do. There is objectively stuff that I can have done that will make me look better and more attractive, right? Like, again, if I get like a rhino, and I'm not talking about like anything crazy, you know, just enough where the fat of my nose supersedes the shape of the whatchamacallit, of the what's the word, cartilage, right? You like, because the, again, like if you see right here, the cartilage is too big for the amount of fat of my nose, and I think it's because the cartilage expanded from male puberty more than it would have if I went through female puberty. So it looks a little bit weird. Looks a little bit weird because now the amount of fat that my nose has is like what it would be if I went through female puberty, but the cartilage is still left over. At least that's my theory on it. Imperfections can be a good thing in a lot of cases. I don't think this is one of those cases. I think that I have like a lot of upward mobility, especially because like I'm somebody that has like a symmetrical face, right? So again, I want to look very, very feminine. That's my goal, is to look super feminine. I'd like to look more feminine than I currently do. I'm jealous of people that look more feminine than me. And I'd say that my most masculine characteristics are definitely my nose and maybe my jaw a little bit. So if you see here, if you look at my side profile, right, I got kind of a masculine jaw, I'd say. Right? It's like, it's not the worst, but it's definitely noticeable to me. It also depends on like if my head is like this or if it's like this. If I'm mewing, it's more masculine. Look. Yeah, I'm mewing right now. Okay, now I'm not. But yeah. And then I'd say if I were to get FFS, what I would do is shave off a little bit of like the cartilage in my nose, shave a tiny bit of the jaw, not too much. I would be very light with the jaw, and maybe smooth out my forehead slightly. So you see how it kind of like, my forehead is like kind of curved back a little bit? I would smooth that out, and I may as well, you know, get the like the brow bone slightly shaved, because there is like a little bit, I think. Right? Because if you see here, so if you look here where like the end of my like nose is and where like my brow bone begins, there's like a little bit of a dip. I don't like that. I don't want there to be a dip. Yes, when I look at you, I totally think that's definitely a guy. I can tell by the delicate features and long hair and cute face. You have a very feminine chin though, so the jawline doesn't really look masked, especially in your front profile. Yeah, but I want to look good from all angles, not just like front profile. And front profile, the issue with front profile is, and you can't see it in this lighting, and that's very deliberate, but if I have front-facing lighting, you can see the shape of my nose. It's kind of fucking wacky, right? And you can kind of see that. Either way, you're really pretty. If you never end up getting those improvements, I'd still have 0 complaints. Fair. Just look up success rates then if it really bothers you, but from what I can tell, it's hard to find someone who's good with noses, even from Hollywood. Yeah, I'd have to do a lot of research before I like do it. I want to do it, but I haven't done much research, so it's not guaranteed. But it's not like I want like the entire shape of my nose to be reworked. But yeah. Oh, and one other thing, maybe I get like a tiny bit of lip filler. Just like a very subtle amount. Never fuck with the face. I disagree. I disagree. Look, here's the thing is, I know this is like a very anti-plastic surgery community for the most part, with the exception of FFS, because that's like gender affirming care. But mind you, most, like all good plastic surgery is not noticeable. You don't view them as like a plastic surgery person. You just view them as oh, that's like an attractive person. Like you don't know that you don't notice anything uncanny about them. Like they don't look uncanny, right? Does that make sense? Like there are people that look very uncanny. And maybe even if you can't pinpoint plastic surgery, like that's something you might notice. That's like a vibe, right? And that's usually like a sign that like, okay, their plastic surgery has been botched, right? There's a lot of people that have had plastic surgery but aren't botched. Take people that have had FFS, for example. I think that's like a really good example of all of the non-botched plastic surgeries that have taken place. And the reason we're aware of that, and the reason we, in our brains, categorize FFS differently is because we do see the before and after pictures that people post on Twitter and shit. We see like, oh, okay, this looks good. You wouldn't be able to tell that they have plastic surgery unless you compare it to the before photo or know what they looked like before. Does that make sense? Don't give the Playmate Tessie special. True. Would your ideal look be similar to Taft J? Who is Taft J? Taft J. This person? Maybe? Lips, yeah. Nose, I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to see the shape of the nose because the glasses. So if you see here, I think that the her nose is a bit different. So you see here, the cartilage on her nose actually expands outwards more than mine does, right? So mine are like to the side. I mean, like it expands, like it's more sideways expanded than mine. So I wouldn't be able to get that specific nose. That wouldn't make much sense. I don't think that's fat. Is that fat? I can't tell if that's fat or cartilage. I don't know. It looks like it would be cartilage on the side, right? The same way that I have cartilage here, but this is more narrow. My cartilage goes outwards, like forwards, rather than sideways. Purby looks good after her FFS, but I thought she looked fine before, so what do I know? Hold on. Purby FFS, facial feminization surgery results. Let's find out. Okay, that's pre-HRT. This is not like a... Oh, wait. This isn't PRB. But this is... before and 5 months after FFS. Now, to be fair, she had a 5 o'clock shadow before. But also, the face structure was more masculine in the before. You can see the brow bone from like the lighting, even in like the front profile. You can see a little bit of the brow bone. Whereas here, no more brow bone. I don't know if they did, I don't know what they did with, if they did anything with the nose. I think, wait, if they do the brow bone, don't they have to like adjust the nose slightly? She had it done early this year. Okay. Purby reveals her new face. Okay, so it's a YouTube video.
Baby, when did you get such a big fireplace?
It's not. No, it's just an actual. It's just an actual fire.
Is this before or after surgery?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The house is gonna burn down.
I guess you could say there is a this place
Because she mogs me.
has
So.
fire in it. That's for sure.
What? This place has fire in it.
Did the chair spin all the way around? Yes, it
Intro.
does. So I'm going to be careful with the tape.
Hold me.
it makes things more difficult
So,
in terms of, like, it's an extra step when you're trying to get everything changed because.
Face reveal.
this is my face.
What? Okay, yeah.
Okay, so my jaw is still pretty swollen.
I can't see that.
So talking is a little weird still. Same my chin.
Wait, where's the before? Where's the old you? Does it have pictures? Where's the old pictures? Oh my god. After, okay, I figured, because I couldn't tell because it was like, yeah, because if you look here, it's like, oh wait, fuck. Yeah, but like for the most part, like shit's covered.
Other than that, I'm pretty healed. It's kind of nuts. I got my bangs trimmed today, which was crazy.
Mogs me.
Okay.
What?
To be fair, she had FFS, so it makes sense that she would mog me. Okay, where the fuck? Okay, what did she look like before? Ugh, dude, I can't. Maybe she has the results on her fucking Twitter? Actually, I don't want to explore her Twitter on stream because I think there's NSFW stuff. I don't know if she shows it before and after. Well, fuck, then how am I meant to, like... Never mind. Either way, she doesn't look like she has had plastic surgery done. She just looks like a woman. Okay, this is interesting. So before and after facial feminization surgery. Oh, wait, they changed the nose. Okay, so this is an example of them feminizing the nose. So if you look here, there's like a bump. It's like shaped in like this. So it's sort of like a smaller version of my nose, basically. Like a less extreme version of what I have. And you'll notice here in the after picture, the cartilage has been shaved down, right? And you got that sort of natural looking slope. That a very natural looking feminine slope, right? And that's sort of what I would be going for. Also, the nostrils look different. I don't think I would want to change my nostrils. I don't have nostril dysphoria. I don't think that would do anything. But if you look here, right? I think this person has the same issue as me in the before. I'm pretty sure there's like a flat surface where the cartilage is. So the fat is like up against the cartilage. And I think that that's what they had fixed. I think they might have also done other stuff, but I'm not noticing anything else. So that would be an example of what I'm referring to. Okay. So here's another example of a rhinoplasty done right. The role of rhinoplasty, I would assume facial feminization. Yeah. In facial feminization surgery. So that would be an example. Hold on, let's see. Facial feminization. Surgery results. Okay. Rhinoplasty. I want to see ones where like the nose is different. I want to find people that have similar noses to me and like their before and after pics. Yeah, this person doesn't have a nose similar to me at all, but yeah, I would not need this done because like if you see here, like maybe like a little bit of that, but like my philtrum is already large enough where I won't need that, right? So like if you see here in the before picture, her philtrum is very small, very short philtrum, right? And it's like a, because it's being covered by like the nose, whereas like over here, it's still small on like the smaller size, but not as much. It's more feminine, I think. And you'll notice I already have like a filtering that's larger. So there's like definitely examples of where facial oh, here's one called hairline advancement. But it's not hairline advancement. It's like a change with the nose. It's the first thing I notice. I don't think that they changed anything else. I don't think they changed the hairline in this. I don't know why it's called hairline advancement. But if you see here, this is not the exact same shape as my current nose, but same thing going on. But what I'm thinking is like, I would want something like the after. Like I basically want to smooth my nose out. I want my nose to look less angular, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like this after would be really good. Like I would fuck with having this after. It doesn't even have to like, you know, like have like a reverse arc or whatever. Like it doesn't have to like have like an arc in the opposite direction. I don't need that. Like I'm fine with like a smooth, but like you see how it's like the you can like see like the angularity almost of like the cartilage in the before. Like I guess angular isn't the right word, but like you can see like the sort of boniness of it. Right? I don't like the boniness of it. I don't like my nose looking bony, if that makes sense. And that's like the main thing that I want fixed, is like the sort of bony look that my nose has. I don't like that. You know, I say bony, but in reality it's cartilage, but still, you get the point. What is this? Okay, I can see the difference. This is a very subtle difference in nose shape. I'm ignoring everything else. Her lips look kind of weird. But like, I don't think that the nose looks bad in the after. Like, I think it looks better in the after. If that makes sense. Now, granted, we're going over all the good examples. Right? Because the bad ones are not gonna show up as much, but okay. So, okay, well, here's one. Here's a facial feminization surgery where you can see brow bone kind of masculine here, especially from the side profile, right? And I don't even know. Well, part of it is also the hair is back, but she looks way better in the after. And that's not even just like a... Her timeline is risky, lol. Oh, yeah, PRB's timeline. I'll just look at the facial feminization results. I also want to know, like, what I would look like with facial feminization, specifically, before it gets done. And, like, I would want to see that, like if I were to go to somewhere, I would want to see that somebody that has, like, a very similar kind of face to me and a very similar nose, very similar facial proportions. I would want to see that, like, they had good results from, like, the same person, essentially. Also, you know what? I'm just going to search rhinoplasty. Rhinoplasty before and after. Okay. So here would be like a good example of someone who was not botched. You see the after picture doesn't look unnatural. It matches her face, right? So the cohesion that it has with your face is also going to be very important, right? Now, granted, it also weirdly enough makes her face look less long. Yeah, her face looks, wait, her mid-face weirdly looks shorter in the wait. Did she get more than her nose done? Or is it just like the, wait. Am I crazy? Wait. I can't tell. I actually can't tell. They look more feminine in the before pic? I disagree. I don't think this person looks more feminine in the before pic. I think she looks more feminine in the after pic. And if nothing else, I would say more attractive. Okay, this would be a less good example. I don't love the look of this. This looks kind of... To be fair, I think it's just like the rest of the person's face, though. I don't know. I feel like that's like a very weird case. Okay. This is the before and after for this person. I will say... Wait, what? Okay, wait, why is the rest of the face a different... Why does the rest of the face look smaller? Are they fucking editing these? Or like angle fraud? I can't tell. What the fuck? Yeah, no, they're definitely... Okay, I don't trust whatever source this is. Because it looks like they're editing the rest of the face. I can't tell if it's like Photoshop or just plastic surgery. Alright, this person had a more extreme version of my nose. Except for like the lower part. I guess. Her nose is like shorter. So I have to keep in mind that if I were to do something like this, it would look different at the end. Okay. We have someone that has the same problem as me, but worse. But and their nose is like on the... I think that like, yeah, their face is like a little bit on the longer side. And I think this is a good example of what I would want. Something like this on the right, I think would look good. Like if I had I think if I got one that's like the one on the right, I think this would work well for my face and my facial proportions. Now granted, I don't have exactly the same... I do have like a larger jaw, right? So you'll notice my side profile. I've got more of a jaw. But in terms of the shape of my chin, I have a similar chin shape. Right? I have a very, very similar chin shape. And that's very important. I also have a similar forehead shape, weirdly enough. Similar forehead shape, similar chin shape, and similar length of midface. Meaning that this would be plausible. That chin looks smaller in the after pic. This one? Or were you referring to a different one? Does the guy have a smaller chin? Fair. I'm actually going to save that to my downloads, just because I want to be able to reference it later. I need to find people that have, like, a similar face shape to me. Okay, okay, but this is a different face shape. I don't really love the after of this. I don't love the after of this. To be fair, wait, I think... Okay, but her nose looks swollen. Like, the nostril looks fucky-wucky. So this must be right after. But, yeah, I don't know what... Oh, I think it's because of the way that, like, the nostrils are angled. I don't like that. See, I wouldn't want my nostrils angled upwards. So I think something you might notice, and like a lot of the ones that don't look as good, is they want their nose to sort of curve in the opposite direction. And this is what I sort of explained earlier, is that would not be a priority for me. And the reason is that when they do is they make it sort of like go upwards more, like they make it so like the fat sort of goes up more. But the issue is that it like makes the nostrils go up more too. And to me, that doesn't look right. If I'm analyzing it, maybe I'm crazy. The Whoville look. Yes, like I would not want like the nostrils to be like going up. I'd rather they be like facing downwards or like mostly downwards. I would not want my nostrils facing I wouldn't want my nostrils to be at like a 45-degree angle. Does that make sense? So if we go back to the other one that I think looks better by a lot, what we might know, if I can find it, I don't remember where the fuck it is. No. Oh wait, I have it saved. I'm retarded. Thank God I saved it. So if, say for instance, we look back, if we refer back here, what you'll notice is that the angle of the nostrils is not that different, okay? So you see the angle of the nostrils in the before pic? They're sort of like horizontal. Here they're angled up slightly, but it doesn't look weird. It doesn't... wait, actually they are angled up more. Why does it look good in that case? Wait, no, I'm getting confused because if you... No, because they already were like sort of a little bit. So it angled up and then down. It angled up and then down. So that's actually an illusion. That's actually a really interesting illusion. So this is only the part that angled up. So this naturally angled up already to an extent. So I think that that's why that looks better than this. Because if you see here, at the starting point, it angled up a tiny bit and then went down. And then at the end point, it goes straight up in a 45-degree angle. And that, my friends, is overcommitting. All right? It's an overcommitment to changing things. It's like, well, if I'm going under, I may as well change everything type of thing, maybe. Like make it as like this exact shape. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to make it, you want to make it look good without changing the shape in ways that isn't necessary, right? Now, granted, if I had her nose from the before picture, I wouldn't be thinking about getting rhino. This is like way more feminine than my nose. I don't know what it looks like from the side profile, but just like having a little bump, I don't think it's worth it. And I know for a fact it's definitely not worth it to completely reshape it like this and to like change the angle at the end, right? That does not look natural. Now, interestingly, if let's say if I was her and I was getting a nose job no matter what, right? Let's say I'm going under so that I can get some other shit done, let's say. And in the process, it's like, oh, we'll also offer a nose job if you want. How would you like your nose to look? I would basically just say, mostly the same, but just shave the little bump off. Just shave the little bump off. Right? And that, my friends, would look a lot better. It's subtle, and people might not know why you look slightly better afterwards. They might not be able to pinpoint it, but it's effective. You don't want drastic changes through surgery. Period. Unless there's room for that to happen and look natural. But in this case, she didn't have much room for that to happen because her nose didn't really stick out that much in the first place. All they really, like what she should have done is she should have had it like curve, like maybe if she wanted that curve, there's like a little bit of bump that could have been just sort of shaved off, and then it could have been like a very subtle curve upwards, very, very subtle. And that would have looked way better. So when I say that plastic surgery can look good, it depends on the context. And while there is a lot of botched surgeries, a big part of that is not just the fault of the surgeon, but it's also the fault, well, it's going to be the fault of the surgeon and the person requesting the nose job. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying this is always the case. Some people just get botched anyways, okay? It's very scary stuff. But what I mean by that is if I, as the person that wants plastic surgery, decide I want a rhino, and I decide that I want the entire shape of my nose to be reconfigured. I want none of the same characteristics. I want it to be going in the complete opposite angle, including the nostrils. And you make the nostrils go up like this. It does not look natural. Right? You have to work with the shape that's sort of already there, but modify it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. See, if I were to get a rhino, what I would do is you see this shape, right? You see this shape? What I would do is I would have them sort of shave a lot of that, right? And interestingly, if we go to the photo that I downloaded, my nose is actually quite similar in how much it's like in terms of how much it sticks out to this person's, right? To this person's before, right? And their before. So I have a lot to work with, right? So I have an advantage. So you'll notice, again, it goes a little bit up and a little bit down, I think. Hold on, let me full screen it. I think, yeah, my nostril goes up and then down, sort of like that person's. And again, if I were to get it shaved, right, sort of here, just get a little bit shaved off, a little bit of the fat at the end removed probably, so it doesn't look weird, right? It'll stick out less. I would look like the after picture. And that, my friends, is how you sort of figure out what would be effective. Anyways, fact of the matter is, you need to find a good reference point and understand how the face works. And you'll notice in all of the ones where like a nose is super big, but like the larger the nose, the easier it is to have drastic changes. The easier it is to have drastic changes from the before to the after without it looking unnatural. Because again, there's more material to shave, but if you don't have that much material to shave, you're not going to be able to make much of a difference without it starting to look unnatural. Because then at that point, in order to change the shape, you can't change the shape simply by shaving off part of it, right? Which will generally look more natural. You have to start adjusting with where the fat is. And then it starts getting into weird, uncanny territory, especially if you make the nostrils go up more artificially. And again, you'll notice at the very beginning of his nose, it goes up and it goes down. So you can see it goes up, but that's the up part of the beginning. So again, they're able to make it look natural because they didn't really have to do anything there, right? Bro needed that. He had a beak. Absolutely. Absolutely. Aside from his skin looking worse, he looks significantly better in the after. Now, granted, he also had his jaw done, right? But you'll notice the more it is, if you are inevitably, no matter what, going to get a rhinoplasty, it is actually better to have a nose that looks like this in the before pic than it is to have a nose that looks like mine, even. And again, maybe not better, but I would say, or better than the, what was the bad example that I didn't like? Where is it? I can't find it. But the fact of the matter is she didn't have much to shave off in the first place. So it is better to start off with an actual fucking beak than a demon. Like if you want to determine your nose shape. Like I guarantee you, this man right here had much more of a say in his nose shape than most people that get rhinos in terms of having a natural looking nose. That gets done, right? Just bear that in mind. This reminds me of Yandere Deviant nose memes. Fair. I really need to pee. Did you know that? I also need to drink water. And then I'll come back and then we'll see what we do after. So sorry for like the whole tangent on nose jobs, but I think that like the ones that look better are the ones that work with the existing shape and just shave it. They just shave the cartilage. Those look natural. And I think that the reason, and I'm just speculating, I'm only speculating, okay? I think that the reason is because when you do stuff with the fat, you're arranging it in a way that it naturally wouldn't arrange itself. See, ideally, you have more fat than cartilage, right? So sort of the opposite of me, where like my cartilage sticks out. You can sort of see it, looks very boning. I don't like that. So if I were to shave that off, the way that the fat would sort of assemble itself naturally would make it look, well, natural. You wouldn't be able to tell that I had work done if I were to do that. But again, if you adjust the fat itself, if you make it so that you adjust the fat at the end in a way that makes the nostrils go up more, that, even no matter how much you want it to like be like the reverse arch thing, like the arch where it's like, it's like concave and then it's like sort of goes out at the end. Regardless of how much you want that, that's not going to look very natural in most cases. So, I need to pee. And with that being said, I will be doing the thing where I play the Charlie Kirk diss track. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go there, and be right back.
Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out, ready. Charlie Kirk went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred's bed shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, man down on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert red, your rhetoric fast, you to your deathbed. Defiance doesn't exist, released by Netanyahu cause he got fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, created trannies and fags like a skinhead. Targeting jobs is some pussy shit, you were against that before. There's no need to backtrack, the left's not your enemy, just people like me. Man, yo shit is so out of whack, the ops will overreact and attack. While I smoke on this Charlie Kirk tack. If you're conservative, you should be euthanized. Come to my house and I'll chop off your ball sack. Bitch is so whack, retarded and wants to carry his legacy of shilling for APAC. Her face is fatter than jobs, no roasters at me when your house is made out of glass. I hate to be crass, but Charlie Kirk's neck is someone more fucked up than data boss Nass. His neck took a bullet so hard it was just like the Zionist that was far up his ass. Charlie Kirk is dead, neck bled out, ready. Charlie Kirk went to bed, neck full of lead. Charlie Kirk, inbred's bed shot dead below the head. Charlie Kirk, Nando on the spot, last thing he said. Gang violence, we support that he said. Why don't you debate this board instead? Big foreheaded and expert in red. Your rhetoric fast you to your deathbed. Compliance doesn't exist for unleashed by Netanyahu cause he a fed. You're special that if you think he was moderate, he hated trannies and fags like a skinhead.
We're back. We're back, bitches. Oh, yeah. What is this? Dude, it's a video from somebody called Vlade when a trans dad leaves his family to be a 6-year-old trans girl. That looks awesome.
From secretly cross.
We're gonna watch that, but first I'm gonna restart stream. This looks similar to something I've covered already. Wait, I think I covered that. The Stefankny person or whatever her name is. But we covered a different documentary about it. So maybe there's like additional stuff. Actually, before we yeah. We're gonna close that. Close that. Okay. We're gonna restart stream. Okay. So y'all better be back. Y'all better be fucking back, bitch. Bitches. Bitch-asses. Oh yeah. That's right. Alright, we've been going for nearly 4 hours. So we're gonna go for at least another 2 hours, I want to say. That'll be 6 hours of streaming in a night. Get back into the groove of things. Even if it's a weird time. Alright. Be right back, everyone, and I will see you in a minute. Actually, what I'm going to do is don't leave. Okay, it'll lag for a sec, but I want to set it up where it redirects to the next stream. So I'm going to, I think, yeah, what I'm going to do is it'll lag for a sec, then I'll come back, and then I'll redirect if it works. So just stay put. Don't go anywhere, chat. All right, be right back for 1 sec. And we are back, of course, and what I need to do is I need to add a redirect, which is going to be to this, save, and then, did it work? I think it's going to, but you're still on the old stream, obviously, because I haven't started the next one. I need to add the thumbnail is why. And the way that I'm going to do that, of course, is by opening YouTube Studio Link in a new chat, in a new tab. Then I'm going to go to content, live. You guys get to hear about the thing while I'm doing it. On, let YouTube decide. But yeah, stay put, everyone. All right, stay put. Let's see, lettuce maxing playlist, so I can add the thumbnail on my phone. Femyoz, chill trans girl stream, and the tags. And then we're going to go back. We're going to go to view in live control room. Yes, you kept up your spot on the leaderboard. Congratulations on being in 3rd place. Donate here. I can actually remove the /tip, I think. It can just be streamlabs.com/Femyoz again, I think. Let me check. Yeah, it works again. And then it redirects it to /tip. Which is good. For a while, I had to add /tip, which is weird because it wasn't like that before, but then it was like that for a while, so now it's just streamlabs.com/Femyoz again. I think I can also edit my description to reflect that. Okay. And this means that now I can go here, 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 here. Okay. And then upload the thumbnail. Very sorry about the, the fact that it's taking so long. But it is, nonetheless. And, yeah. Femyoz more like bottomyoz. Haha, very funny. then that shows as upcoming, right? It's also public. Yes, it is public. So if I'm on here, I'm on my phone, it should redirect when I go like, okay, so basically if it doesn't redirect, if when I end the stream, it doesn't redirect you to the new stream within 20 seconds, then click on my channel and just refresh like you normally would. I just want to see if this works, okay? So, and if it doesn't work, let me know. If it works, let me know, essentially. So, be right back. If it redirects you, great. If not, refresh. Stream is not over. We're just